If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores, The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Good morning, friends, and a happy Wednesday to you, July 29th. Oh, my God, it's almost August. Can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
Can't.
You know
It sneaks up on
what
you every year.
happens after Labor Day, and that is Christmas, will be here before you know it. That's always what happens.
That's right. I just saw something yesterday, I think, that it is if you decorate on November 1st,
Okay.
that you only have 13 weeks with no Christmas decorations. How about that? I don't know if that math is correct, but I just saw it. 314-436-7900 while Amy does math. 314-436-7900. Join the show by calling and texting and by leaving voice messages directly from the Odyssey app. We have been talking about this app since the show started 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So if you don't have it on your phone, what in the H? Get it on your phone, record your messages and send them. Also, you can watch us. We are pretty, and we are on TV, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and you can find us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top three stories everyone will be talking about.
We find out yesterday afternoon that a St. Louis staple is leaving town. Panera, formerly St. Louis Bread Co., is moving its headquarters from the St. Louis area to Boston, and they are now officially dead to me.
Yeah, more like
Dead.
Panera Dead Company.
It's not bad. St. Louis Dead Company. How about that? You're dead.
You're dead to us.
See ya. Have fun in
They
Boston,
were
you
dead
jerks.
when they stopped making their own bread,
Oh.
and they started using
we'll
frozen dough.
get into these people.
In other news, we're less than a week away from the August 4th election, and Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe joins us at 9:30 specifically to talk about some of these amendments on the ballot, Amendment 4 and Amendment 5.
Well, it's been a rough go of it for the Cardinals since the All-Star break. They are now under 500 for the first time all season long. And yeah, we got over the 100 game mark before they got to this point, but here they are. And they've lost the first 2 of 4 to the Cubs. Game 3 is tonight, 6:45. We got it right here on KMOX. So, yes, we get the story. The first report, I believe, was from KMOV, who put it out there that Panera is intending to move its headquarters from Fenton, Missouri, which is where it is now, and it is going to a place just outside Boston. So they are relocating, and this will be a good time, I think, to talk with Governor Mike Kehoe, who was on with us, as Amy said, at 9:30 today, just after the 9:30 break, and we'll ask him about it. We'll ask him what he thinks about the move and, you know, how it affects us, so on and so forth. But here's a company that is leaving town, and we have talked about private equity before a lot, and it's not 100% of the time, but it does seem like a lot of the time when private equity takes over a successful business, restaurants in particular, that they tend to really start to go to hell. And it's kind of happened with Chipotle. That's a famous one. It has happened a bit with Panera, and I think anybody who has been to a Panera, and we have been open about this. I have as Amy does, I have a long relationship with St. Louis Bread Company. Used to go there when I was a kid. Loved it. But the quality of the place, as we have talked about before, has taken a massive nosedive.
This is just the final nail in the coffin. I'm glad
that's
they're
exactly
gone.
what it is.
I don't want to be associated with them anymore.
Yeah, they can go to hell.
I mean,
See
I
ya.
know the economic impact is not great. But listen, as far as the company itself, they ruined it. St. Louis Bread Company was the place to go. Some of my favorite memories as a kid were going to the St. Louis Bread Company in Chesterfield Mall. It was on the second level, and I think a lot of people will remember when they painted the ceiling that, you know, the sky blue with the clouds, so it was like the fake sky.
And it was right there in one of the I don't want to call it a court. I don't know what you call it. Like a gathering space, like right up on the second floor, wasn't it? Up
it wasn't
off that?
the food court. It's
not the food
that,
court.
but it was. Yes, it was a main spot. It was a very visible spot. It wasn't hidden away like some malls. They have little corners that for some reason just feel like the dark corner. Like no one goes
it wasn't
back
one
there.
Of those.
No, it was right there in the middle, and it had the fake sky, which I loved, and it played classical music, which I loved, and we would go there. And we would get the soup in the bread bowl. Loved getting the chicken noodle soup in the bread bowl, or maybe the broccoli and cheese soup in the bread bowl. And it was excellent quality. And my mom and I were talking about this yesterday. Do you remember the smell of the bread and then in the glass display, all of the danishes and the pastries and the bagels, and everything was so beautiful and looked fresh. It was quite the little restaurant cafe.
Oh, I loved it.
It hasn't been that in years.
No, it hasn't.
The sandwiches got gross.
They're like half the size.
Yeah. The bread is tough.
And that's just like, again, that is just like the whole Chipotle thing when about a year ago they were taking a social media beating because their portion size has gotten abysmal. You know, there's hardly ever any protein on it. And then they have the CEO go on TV and try to calm things down because people were mad at Chipotle. And he said, hey, all you have to do if you go through the line, you want a little bit more rice, ask for more rice, ask for more veggies. No, dummy, we're talking about the protein. That's the problem. And that is the problem, I think, with, or what can exist with private equity. And that has happened with Panera because the quality of it has gone down. And this is not a sour grapes thing. It isn't, because Amy and I have talked about it for months and months. That Panera,
no, you're right. And the Sip Club, which
that one infuriates me.
Yeah, where you only get 30 drinks a month. I mean, is it still a great deal? It is such a great deal. But it's tough when you give someone a benefit or a feature of a club like the Sip Club and then you take it away or you chip away at it. People are going to feel a little peeved at that because it used to be unlimited drinks. Like it was just every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours you can get a drink.
I mean, it probably was the best deal. And
nobody's going in there every 2 hours, though. But you could get a couple of drinks a day. That's good. But what you essentially did for anybody who had Sip Club, which was what, $16 a month, $16 a month. And yes, you're right. It is a good deal over the course of the month. But when the whole appeal of it is, man, there's this great thing and you can get a drink every couple of hours, just the knowledge that you can do that, that's the selling point. So then when you tell people we're not doing that, not only are we going to cut it in half, but we're cutting it by like 80%. That is a huge shift.
Now, okay, maybe I'm not the best one to speak on this because I do think the coffee of St. Louis Bread Company or Panera is location to location. I've had a location where it's really good. The location where I was living when I joined the Sip Club, it was not good. I actually canceled my Sip Club because the coffee was just not good there. Yeah. And so there's that. And I will say I had heard of some abuses where people were just going in or letting family members use it. And I'm sure there were abuses. So maybe to me, the bigger offense is the quality of the food and the portions. But I feel like this is just a little slap in the face.
It is. And I doubt that they say they were losing money. This is a case of private equity doing everything they can to maximize their profits. And they don't. And I get it. If you're running a business, that's kind of what you're there to do. But also there's a trade-off. You should be mindful of your customers and try to do good by them and try to provide a good service. And they just haven't been doing it the way they used to. And now they're leaving town. So that
good riddance.
And it's kind of how I feel. I do feel bad, though, for people who work at Panera, that this is their job. You know, they manage it or they work the cash register or they're in the back making food. Yeah, I feel bad for those folks. But I mean, they're still going to exist here in town. I mean, the Paneras are still going to be here. It's just that the headquarters is leaving. And I would imagine it probably is not going to help their business in the St. Louis area. a lot of people will maybe be completely unaware of it and will still go there. So maybe it's not that big of a hit. But I imagine there will be folks like us who say, all right, well, you're leaving town. Screw you. We're never coming back. How about that?
Jacob watching on YouTube says, God bless the St. Louis Bread Co. I worked across the rotunda at John Pill's. Yes! And I'd get on the Wi-Fi in high school. Got so much homework done. Absolutely. That is such a core St. Louis high school memory, doing work at St. Louis Bread Company, and the fact that he worked at John Pill's. Man, John Pill's needs to make new posters. Is he still alive?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The John Pill's St. Louis Skyline posters were everywhere at all the malls, and every dad who had an office had a framed John Pill's poster in his office, and every den in your grandparents' house had a
yes.
John Pill's Skyline.
All of our dads who had home offices.
Well, no, at his office.
Oh,
like
I
if
see.
you walked to
Yeah,
any
okay.
office in you could go to your dentist, they probably had a John Pill's poster. But the Skyline is different with the Millennium Hotel. So now they're going to need new Skyline.
Yes, they absolutely will.
At any rate, we want to hear from you. 314-436-7900. Lana, watching on Facebook, says, totally agree with both of you. Panera is not the same.
It hasn't been. And it's a shame, too, because like we said at the top, right off the top, it was... I had... The first one I ever went to was on Ballas. It was on Ballas, not too far from Olive. And I think a lot of people will know that location I'm talking about, not everybody. But when I was a kid, my pediatrician, my doctor was across the street. So if I ever had to go there, it was like a treat after that, I got a little sick day, little sick range. And then we get Panera, I get that Italian sub. I think it was called an Italian, which I believe they don't have anymore. And it was huge. The thing was massive. And now it's a fourth the size, even if it exists anymore. But I do remember the last time I had it, it was much, much, much smaller than it used to be. So, see you, Panera. You know what? We'll help you pack. How about that?
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
That's
STL
right.
Fly Guy, will say, watching on YouTube, says, you knew it was over when they took St. Louis off the name. That was the beginning of the end. When
That
it turned
was
to Panera,
it
felt less special. It felt less local. It started to feel like a national chain.
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they are moving to a place just outside Boston. And I am curious about this as we hit the break here, how Governor Kehoe feels about this, because one of the draws for him on Amendment 5 is the elimination of the income tax and the belief that will bring people to the state. Well, clearly in this case, Panera is not too worried about taking their headquarters to a state with lots of taxes, because that's exactly what they're doing. It is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Governor Kehoe will join us just after 9:30.
Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Congress doesn't need more politicians. For nearly 30 years, Joan Von Dross dedicated her life to helping students learn, grow, and succeed. Now she's running for Congress to fight for lower healthcare costs, stronger public schools, and a more affordable future for Missouri families. Teachers solve problems. Politicians play politics.
I'm Joan Von Dross, Democrat from Missouri CD2, and I approve this message. Vote for me on August 4th.
Paid for by Von Dross for Congress.
Sometimes it feels like the news is full of things that have never happened before, and that is not exactly true. In fact, it may have happened this very week, hundreds or thousands of years ago. I'm Sally Helm, host of the podcast History This Week from the History Channel. Trade embargoes? Thomas Jefferson tried them. Rent too high? We've been arguing about that for a while. Each episode is proof. The past isn't that far away. Listen to History This Week, available now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Closeout season is heating up at Seidenstricker Nobe partners with sizzling hot summer savings on John Deere compact tractor packages. For a limited time, get $6,600 off the S&P price on a John Deere 5050E with a loader, plus 0% financing with zero down. Find compact tractor package savings at snpartners.com. Seidenstricker Nobe, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 8/31/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Your health story is shaped by more than genetics. Everyday choices like nutrition, physical activity, sleep, tobacco use, and routine screenings all play a role in your future health. Seidman Cancer Center's Your Disease Risk helps you understand how family history and lifestyle work together, offering personalized insights to support healthier decisions. Knowing your risks today can help protect your tomorrow. Visit Seidman.washU.edu/YDR.
Relive the magic of the 1904 World's Fair when the heartwarming hometown favorite Meet Me in St. Louis returns to the Muni stage August 6th through 13th. Sponsored by Commerce Bank and Commerce Trust Company. Your seats are waiting at muni.org.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Chris and Amy show until 12, then the Gas House Gang, and we are going to get into the Cardinals on the Gas House Gang. They've got their series against the Cubs, which continues tonight, 3 of 4, 5:50 pregame, 6:45 first pitch from Busch Stadium. It'll be a nicer night if you want to catch a ball game. It's not going to be this 100 crap, which we've had for the last few days. But the Cardinals are anything but hot right now. They have lost 9 of 12. Since the All-Star break
now.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is 10 of 13, but it's been bad since the All-Star break.
Yeah, it has
and
been.
they did pretty well going into the All-Star break. And for the first time this season, they are under 500, which I didn't think once they started playing well. And they had a good extended amount of time where they were playing pretty good ball and getting results, getting wins. They were close to 10 games over 500 at one point. They kept flirting with 10 games over. And I kind of figured that they would stay above 500 for the rest of the year. So I don't want to say I'm surprised, because if you had asked me at the beginning of the season, will this be an under 500 team at any point? I'd say, yeah, probably. But I had settled into this feeling that they were going to at least be 500, over 500, maybe by a few games for the remainder of the season. And I do think it is still very possible. We, as I have been saying, we get to September and they're still over 500 and they are still competitive and, maybe they're 2 games out of a wild card spot, but within striking distance. And that is still a great possibility. However, as the days go by and we get closer and closer to the trade deadline on Monday, it's becoming, I think, more and more clear that they're going to be trading away from the roster if they can find good suitors for the players they have.
I turned the game on in the second inning, and it was 7-0. And
it happened quick.
It was, I think, a record number of runs given up by Michael McGreevy, which, you hate to see that. I actually really like Michael McGreevy.
Yeah, he's had a really nice year.
Yeah. And so
and Amy, real quick, before this series started, they actually had been, the starting pitching had been pretty good since the break. I think they were top 5 or 6 in team ERA.
Wasn't it a little deceiving because the Cardinals' record was not great because the offense was struggling to score runs? So it felt the pitching didn't really get the credit that it deserved.
Right, because they were losing.
Yeah.
If they had been winning those games, we'd be like, wow, look how the starters are doing.
Yeah.
But
so, no, it's frustrating. It was, obviously I love listening to John and Ricky and Claves on the KMOX broadcast. I've been going on a lot of walks and listening to the Cardinals game on the radio, but I did turn on the TV, and in the 6th inning, I'm pretty sure Chip Carey and Brad Thompson talked for an entire half inning about bagged milk and how they have bagged milk in Canada and special bagged milk scissors, and then going to Toronto and what they would do in Toronto if they went on a trip. And I was actually laughing because it was a pretty funny side note conversation. And then after a while, Chip Carey said, if you're wondering why we're talking about bagged milk, it's because it's 8-1. I think it was 8-1 at that point. Maybe it was 9. But yeah, and it was, I guess it makes for long games when you go down by that many runs at the beginning of the game.
From a broadcaster's perspective, it's even tougher to do it on the radio when a game is a blowout
because you
and
have to
you're
call
losing.
The game still. Yes.
Because you still have to call
the game.
And be entertaining, which is tough when you're talking about a game that sucks.
It was rough.
Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully they snap out of it with a win tonight, but they find themselves 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. Wasn't that long ago. They still had that 3rd wild card, but now look at this. The Diamondbacks, Pirates, Nationals, Padres, Marlins have all jumped in front of the Cardinals in the last week or so. That's granted, there's not a whole lot of gap between all those teams because we're talking about really 2.5 games that separate all of them, which is not insurmountable. That could change in 3-4 days, right? But, they go from being a wild card team to not. Will they play their way back into it? I don't know, but they're going to have to make some moves. And I think that it has become, unless they go on a tear starting today and, win the next 3 or 4, and even then, I don't know that it should matter. I think they probably should get as much value as they can possibly get from, guys like Dustin May or Romero when he comes off the IL, which they could still make a deal for him. He should be okay once he comes off the injured list. Or there's reporting that a lot of teams are interested in catching. Could it be Pages or Herrera who end up going somewhere else? I don't know, but it's going to be a really eventful, I think, next 5 days for the Cardinals. The trade deadline is on Monday. So, again, it's becoming clearer and clearer that they probably need to make a move in the negative direction. They're going to have to subtract from the roster. It's too bad, man. It's not like we didn't know it was going to happen.
The whole future ahead of us. They'll right the ship, too. It's not going to stay. They're not going to stay in this slump forever, probably.
But I hope not.
I said that about the Blues.
And they can, again,
I was wrong.
As we get to the break, they could make all these moves, trade these guys, and still be competitive for the rest of the year. This National League is not all that great. When we come back, we are going to talk to Amendments 5 and Amendments 4 and Panera Bread with Governor Mike Kehoe. He will join the show in a moment on KMOX.
It's not really a sports show. It's just a show.
So I don't really have a sports show, but I love the Cardinals. I am born and bred St. Louis, went to my first game like so many of you, 4 years old. Couldn't believe how green it was standing there next to the players with my dad, and now I go with my kids. You get it. So when you listen to the DGS, it's going to be a slice of life happy hour, but we're always going to talk Cardinals.
The Dave Glover Show at 1. Then stick around for Cardinals baseball.
I'm Bill Eigel. I'm a no on data centers. Last year, when a new hyperscale data center was up for a vote in St. Charles City, I'm the only candidate for county executive who stood with you in opposition. Meanwhile, Steve Ellman was writing op-eds in support of data centers. In fact, he spent $400,000 of your taxpayer money to identify 6 locations just for data centers in St. Charles County. I'm Bill Eigel, and if you don't want data centers in our county, then I'm asking for your vote on August 4th.
Paid for by Eigel from Missouri. Lisa Borchers, Treasurer.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
76 degrees out there. Less humid, lots of sun, great day. Little wildfire smoke is causing the sky to be hazy. Other than that, a high of 89. Tonight, clear with a low of 65. Weather sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler. If you're looking for a little kick in the pants when it comes to dropping a little weight, getting better shape, getting more into the gym, think about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at Supplement Superstores. I've been using it since it came out. It's fantastic. You notice right away the difference. Look, we all have busy schedules. I do and you do. You know, we all have problems sometimes with controlling our eating patterns and staying on a plan. Well, Burn Balance Complex makes that so much easier. It's not magic, but it definitely helps make it easier. It is a complete metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. So what you're talking about is a natural weight loss option. So if you're a person that doesn't want to go get a prescription, you're not into injections, this is a great choice for you. In addition to the metabolism boost, you get to lower stress and cortisol levels, get better sleep. It can help control appetite and cravings, all-day focused energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. If you want the help, and look, we all need it, I know I do, go to Supplement Superstores, tell them your story, mention Kevin Wheeler, and they'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex. You can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from Big Wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Hi, I'm Mark Cantor. The people around here are hardworking people, just like you. And when someone in your family gets hurt in a car wreck, everything can change very fast. That's why having a local lawyer matters. At Cantor Injury Law, we know these towns, these roads, and the people who drive them every day. When you call us, you're calling a local team with boots on the ground, ready to fight for you. You can count on Cantor.
CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX, and it is time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line. We are less than a week away from votes. There are primaries that are happening on August 4th. There are also votes on particular amendments here in the state of Missouri. We've heard a lot of discussion about Amendments 5 and Amendments 4. We will get into those with Governor Mike Kehoe, who joins the show this morning. It's good to have you with us, Governor. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on. We're doing well. I appreciate your time today.
Well, we are happy to have you, and I know that you have been a proponent, and we will start here with Amendment 5, and we have talked to people on both sides of it. It is an amendment to eliminate, eventually, the income tax here in the state of Missouri. You are in favor of this. Why?
That's correct. Well, I ran on an option for Missourians to take a look at of phasing out the income tax, and I'm one of those old-fashioned people that believe if you run around the state promising somebody you're going to get something done, you should actually try to do it as well. So we know that other states who do not have an income tax, their economies are much greater, their populations are growing, and things in those states are just providing more opportunities for their citizens. I'd love to be able to offer those same opportunities for Missourians. So the proposal went through the House and Senate in a transparent way with hearings and public comment, et cetera. And appropriately, it goes before the ballots. This would be with the voters. This would be likely the most major shift in policy the state has seen, some people say in 50 years plus, because it definitely does a very different method of determining revenue for our state. And it puts the buying power of those dollars into the pockets of Missourians. I think that's a good thing. Other states have shown us it's worked very well. So this is not an experiment. This is something we know that works, that we'd like Missourians to benefit from.
I don't know if I'm like a persuadable voter or a confused voter on this, because I see that there are valid arguments on both sides. I think the thing that concerns me when we look at the other states that don't have an income tax, you're looking at Florida, where out-of-state visitors spend $135 billion, and they've got beaches and Disney World. You look at Nevada, which has, out-of-state visitors spending $58 billion. Missouri's down at $12.5 billion, and we don't have beaches or Vegas or Disney World. So I'm a little concerned that those out-of-state visitors aren't going to fill as much of the gap as we're hoping.
Sure. I say this all the time. Florida's got an ocean around three sides of it. I mean, we have some great recreational lakes, but we don't have that. Texas is the size of half of Europe. So those two states who don't have income tax, it's hard to kind of get an apples-to-apple comparison to. We look at the data that comes out of Tennessee, another Midwest state that we think has the same values, close in positioning to us, actually borders us on our southeast corner. And you've seen what's happened there. I mean, Nashville and Memphis were not Nashville and Memphis the way we see them today, 25 and 30 years ago. That state is growing in population. People are leaving these other states that have high regulations, high tax burdens, et cetera, not good work environments, and they're coming to Midwest states. And Tennessee has proven that has drawn many people there. I think Missouri can do the same thing. Our population is not growing. It's either flat or dwindling the last 25 years. It's just like in business. If you're not growing, you're dying. And we need to grow our population, grow the economy, grow opportunities, have companies expand here and move here, and have more opportunities for Missourians. I think that's a good thing to go forward. But Missourians will have to decide the same thing next Tuesday.
Well, related to that, and we were going to ask you about it, but since you sort of brought it up, that there are companies and people that are leaving coastal areas coming to the Midwest because of the tax situation. We just heard yesterday that Panera is leaving the St. Louis area, taking its headquarters to Massachusetts. First of all, your thoughts on that, just the move in general.
Well, we hate to lose any business any time of the year or any location throughout the state. We were not made aware Panera was looking. If we were, we would have gotten to see if there was anything we can do. So it tells me since they didn't really come to the state and ask for any options or opportunities, they had their mind made up to move to the east. And we hate to lose them, and we hope that those folks that are working there either have opportunities within the organization somewhere else, or certainly we, through our economic development department, will meet with employees and try to help them find gainful employment. The good news is Missouri is looking for employees all the time, businesses across the spectrum. So being able to place those folks will be of great importance to us.
To follow up on that, Panera is now moving to a state that is pretty heavily regulated. And so does that not sort of go against the idea that, hey, we have less taxes here, there's a lower tax burden that will attract companies to come and stay here in Missouri? It seems to be in opposition of that.
Yeah, well, remember, we don't have our income tax phased out yet, so we still have it right now. So the tool that they're looking at that we want to get is not on the table yet because it hasn't been passed by the voters. And, you know, tax and regulation, there's multiple pieces to economic development success. It's not the magic wand. It's not the cure-all, the do-all. You have to have a whole host of things in your basket to grow your economy. A great workforce, which Missouri has. We're in the greatest location you can be in the United States for shipping, logistics, manufacturers, products coming in, products coming out. We have a host of things that are really in our favor. We're working very hard on the regulatory environment. We've made some great strides in that since I've been in office. We think the tax policy piece is another major piece of the puzzle that you could go to a company like Panera or somebody who's looking at moving and saying, look, your employees can be here and not have income tax. We're not able to tell them that right now, but should this pass, we would love to be able to use that tool to work with companies.
So you're kind of saying that Massachusetts, even though they have income tax, they have other factors that would trump the income tax for Panera. But if we didn't have income tax, then maybe a company like that would stay here.
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't, like I said, Panera did not reach out to us, and so I'm not sure what all the factors were in that move. My guess is since they didn't, as I said previously, they pretty much had something already brewing and their mind was made up. That happens from time to time in economic development. We hate it. We don't want that to happen, and should we be able to get a shot at talking to a company like Panera, even with our existing tools, I think we have a great conversation. Should this phase out of the income tax happen, I think that conversation gets even stronger.
Can I ask you also about a couple of other companies that have moved their headquarters from here to Connecticut, and that would be Charter Spectrum and Edgewell, again, going to a state like Connecticut. Did you talk to them? Did they reach out to you, and what are your thoughts on those moves?
I don't know Charter specifically. I know some folks within Charter. I don't know that they reached out to us. But again, economic development is a strategy that you have to work through all of these opportunities. And we have just as many companies looking to expand and move here right now based on some of the things we've got to offer them as anything else. So we've grown the jobs since we've been in office. We've grown the number of companies who have moved here and expanded here. And so we're going to keep working on that.
We're speaking with Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe. And Governor Kehoe, one concern I've heard from a lot of listeners and people that I've talked to is how Amendment 5 is open-ended and that lawmakers could impose new sales taxes, new use taxes on products and services that aren't currently taxed. They could increase existing sales tax rates. And we're hearing the phrase the everything tax. I believe the Missouri Budget Project said that an everything tax would actually cost Missourians more than the income tax. What is your response to those concerns about the open-ended nature of it?
Well, when the special interest groups who don't want this to change have skin in the game and they're making money off the current system, they're going to tell you everything they can. I would tell you those are largely scare tactics. The White House Economic Development Policy Office has looked at this, as well as major other Steve Moore, who's an economist, Art Laffer. Multiple people have looked at this plan to say, this works, we know it works, and it will work. We have over 100-year-old sales tax code right now, and we've been very clear about that. Should this pass next Tuesday, and we hope it does, we think it will be good for Missouri's economy. The General Assembly then will be tasked with rewriting a over 100-year-old sales tax code. But it's in the constitutional question that voters will vote on, and this is where they're scaring people. That's not accurate information. The legislature can never, ever, never, by our Constitution, change our sales tax code by 1 penny more than what it takes to offset the income tax that would go back into Missourians' pockets. So that's a 100%. This runaway tax scenario that they're throwing out there is a complete fabrication. The reality is the question is written such that the legislature, whether it's the legislature that's in place now or future legislature, can never do this. And remember, even if Amendment 5 wasn't on the ballot, let's just say we're just having a general conversation about what Missouri legislators could or could not do. Every day of the week that they're in session, they can impose additional regulations or taxes or burdens on Missourians. So this notion that, well, we can't trust the people in Jefferson City, well, the folks from those communities elected those people, and they've been representing them, and they'll continue to represent them. Some new folks coming in this year. So you're voting on the people who will make this decision. I would tell you that those elected officials understand what it means to be good conservatives and understand what this constitutional measure would require, and that they cannot raise that more than 1 penny of what it takes to offset the income tax.
Talking with Governor Mike Kehoe on KMOX. Also, Amendment 4 is on the ballot, and I want to make sure I have this right. If Amendment 4 were to be in effect now, it would be tougher to pass Amendment 5. What are your opinions on this one? Are you in favor of it? If you are, why? And what it would do is it would make it such that all of the 8 districts in the state of Missouri would have to vote in favor of any of these measures in order for them to pass, and it wouldn't just be a popular vote.
Well, remember, Amendment 4 is what citizen-led folks can bring to the Constitution. The Amendment 5 came through the legislature, so the legislative option is still open to do these types of things. Amendment 4 would suggest it's much harder for, quite frankly, large loads of money coming in from outside of the state to change our state's constitution. And we've seen that happen in 2022. In 2020, we had Medicaid expansion, which is one of the things causing our significant budget challenges every year. In 22, we had the marijuana issue that added almost 200 pages to our Constitution, whether you're for that or not. That's a lot of, tripling, quadrupling the length of our Constitution. And most of all, and most important to me, and I think many Missourians in 2024, we had outside interest groups spend tens of millions of dollars to put the abortion issue, making abortion legal in Missouri, back on the ballot. Those outside groups should not be able to buy Missouri's Constitution. It should be harder to change our Constitution. This raises the bar some, but it doesn't eliminate the option.
Why the distinction between citizen-led amendments and those that originate from the legislature? Because we know legislators can be influenced by special interest groups, too.
Yeah, but remember, Missourians still have to vote on it. Even if it comes through the legislature, there's public hearings, there's opportunities for Missourians to come and weigh in on each of those. Those are the same men and women that we talked about earlier that are representing their constituents. They're interested in making sure those constituents' values are represented in the Missouri legislature. So it's a more transparent process, and it's not it's not influenced by the outside dollars like some of these initiative petition-led issues are.
And then again, just because we have heard concerns from listeners and a lot of conversation around Amendment 4 that, as Chris Ranji pointed out, it would need approval from all 8 congressional districts. So I've heard that in practicality, it makes the citizen initiative pretty much moot because you're not going to get all 8 congressional districts to agree.
Well, listen, it should be hard to change our Constitution. Our founding fathers didn't want the Constitution changed every 2 years with somebody who comes in with a dump truck load of money to do it. It should be hard to do it. And I would suggest it's not impossible. It's still possible, but it would represent the values of Missourians by getting the majorities in all 8 of our congressional districts. That really gives a wide representation of who Missouri is.
Governor Mike Kehoe with us on KMOX. We appreciate your time as always. Thank you for taking the time with us today.
I'm grateful to be on with you guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
That is Governor Mike Kehoe from the state of Missouri. This is the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up. ChristianAmyShow.com. When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the Suicide Prevention Hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
St. Louis, are you ready to rock? AC/DC is bringing the Power Up Tour to the Dome at America Center Tuesday, September 8th. Hear legendary hits like Back in Black, Thunderstruck, and Highway to Hell, performed live by one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Don't wait on tickets. They're still available at Ticketmaster.com. AC/DC, the Power Up Tour, Tuesday, September 8th. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC. Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the gallery showcases stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
The radical left let crime and drugs pour into our nation, and they let biological men into girls' sports. But here in Missouri, if there's a problem, we fix it. That's why Ann Wagner's fixing the mess the radical left made and delivering for us. Wagner voted to ban biological men from competing in girls' sports, and she voted to fund the police and provide more resources for Border Patrol agents, keeping our families, communities, and children safe. And Ann Wagner didn't stop there. In Congress, Wagner passed the largest working-class tax cut in American history, kept big government out of our business, protected our way of life, and ensured our communities remain safe. That's why Ann Wagner's endorsed by the Missouri Farm Bureau and Missouri Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Ann Wagner for Congress on August 4th.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Well, Ranj, I don't know if you saw this, but Ohio State inked a $15 million annual jersey patch deal with J.P. Morgan Chase. That was a record. So there will be J.P. Morgan Chase patches on Ohio State. For some reason, I can't remember. This is pretty new. It has to be super new because it's new in professional sports, and I don't remember seeing other logos on college jerseys before. But at any rate, Ohio State, that $15 million deal, that was huge. And that was the new record until shortly after Notre Dame reached a multi-year deal with SoFi Technologies. And the deal is about $20 million per year to have the SoFi patches on Notre Dame jerseys.
Yeah, so this is a rule that goes into effect. It is a new rule that goes into effect in a couple of days. So August 1st. And this rule was agreed upon back in January by the NCAA.
Listen, I'm not a Luddite, although there is a reason. I'm a Buckley conservative who said, I stand to thwart history yelling stop. And so I get it that people are going to advertise on jerseys. Sometimes I fear that the Notre Dame jersey or like the New York Yankees pinstripes will turn into NASCAR or soccer where you don't even know what team you're watching because they only wear the company.
Yeah, it doesn't...
I don't want that to happen.
So here's the thing. It does not decrease my enjoyment of watching teams play if there's advertising on uniforms. Now, in soccer, European soccer, and if you watch EPL, there is major advertising on the front of jerseys. In fact, it's not like... There might be a little crest on the chest.
I never know what team I'm watching. I'm like, who are you watching? I don't know. I'm watching... what's the ING? I don't know. I'm watching
AIG.
AIG.
AIG, that's Tottenham.
But didn't it used to be something? I don't know who it is. All I know is there's AIG. Who are you watching? I'm watching AIG. United Arab Emirates. That's who I'm watching. I'm watching AIG play United Arab Emirates, and I have no idea.
I'm sorry, it's not AIG. AIG is local. AIA. That's what you're talking about, and that's the...
I don't think AIG is local.
AIG is, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Anyway, AIA is Tottenham. That's what Tottenham is.
But I don't want the Yankees looking like Ricky Bobby.
The Seattle Sounders, it's MLS. I always thought their jersey was funny. It's bright green and it says Xbox 360 on it. I don't know why.
It's funny. Well, we've got City SC Purina on the front.
We've kind of accepted it with soccer, but
and it doesn't bother me that there's a Stiefel patch on the Cardinals uniform. On the that does not bother me at all.
And I'm not saying that necessarily bothers me. What I'm saying is I do hope, because again, Idiocracy, it's amazing how much we reference it. In Idiocracy, everything is covered in advertisements. Like, it's just patches all over. And so the birds on bat, what if you replace that with Xbox 360? That would be super sad.
Yeah, so that's not going to happen in college. You'll just see it on other parts of the jersey. I'm okay with it as long as, and I'm fine. As long as money that comes in from the sponsorships is used to make teams better. That's the way I see it. So, and that's more of an idea for professional sports than it is for college, though it does have an effect in college. Hey, as long as the Cardinals, whatever money they get from Stiefel goes back into the product on the field, great. That's what I want.
I don't want to see the Ohio State Wonder Breads.
Hey, as we go to break here, did you see that Viagra might have...
Oh, no.
It might have a positive effect in cancer treatment?
Oh. Nope.
Yes, it might have some anti-cancer effects because it prohibits cholesterol from helping cancer cells grow.
Huh.
Potentially, this is according to new research, which needs to be studied more.
Well, the good news is...
We should talk to Dr. F. Perry Wilson about it.
Guys really needed a reason to take Viagra.
Yes, doesn't do anything else. When we come back, normally we talk to Scott McFarland on Wednesdays, but we are going to talk to Luke Radel instead, White House correspondent for Midas Touch. That is next on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
When you retire, the paycheck from your job will likely stop. But here's what won't stop: bills, taxes, and medical issues. Sure, there's Social Security, but that may not be enough. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group can show you potential ways to develop a new stream of income that can last as long as you live. Kind of like having your own personal pension. You won't have to worry about whether the market is up or down or who's sitting in the White House. You can spend your time instead on the things that matter, like family, friends, and doing the things you never had time to do before. Call Steve All today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. And schedule a custom income review at no charge. Or find us online at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
In a county full of slick politicians, one man never got the memo. Jake Zimmerman. He may not be cool, but as county assessor, Zimmerman delivered. Here's Jake.
I stopped casinos taking money from our schools and cracked down on wealthy developers dodging taxes.
The St. Louis American called his office a model of respectful competence, and the Post-Dispatch just endorsed Zimmerman in his campaign for county executive for his pledge to take the drama out of county government. As county executive, he'll make life more affordable and stand up to MAGA's attacks on our rights.
I'm not flashy, but I get results, and I've got your back.
Then there's Brian Williams. Williams voted with MAGA Republicans to open the door to extreme abortion bans, and now MAGA is bankrolling Williams with $150,000 in donations. Brian Williams and MAGA can't be trusted. Jake Zimmerman is on our side. Paid for by Citizens for Jake Zimmerman. Jeannie Kirkton, Treasurer.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 10:01. We've got sunshine, 76 degrees downtown. I'm Debbie Monterey. Dr. Anthony Fauci testifying this morning before the Senate Homeland Security Committee chaired by Republican Rand Paul. Ranking member Gary Peters of Michigan says Senator Paul's inquiries into the National Institutes of Health have been one-sided and says now he's dragging the Homeland Security Committee into it.
The chairman has called for today's witness to be fired, to be arrested, accused him of leading cover-ups and conspiracies. He has even featured the witness prominently in fundraising emails and on the cover of his book. He has also called for the cancellation of the witness's security detail, despite the fact the witness and his family have received numerous credible death threats.
Fauci says Chairman Rand Paul has an obvious obsession with calling for his prosecution. The only conclusion I can reach is that the sole reason he is calling me before this committee is to get me to say something, anything, that could vindicate his repeated public pledges that I end up, in his words, quote, behind bars, unquote. Just in the past hour, Senator Paul had Fauci's attorney kicked out of the hearing, escorted out by Capitol Police because he sat at the witness table. A major blow-up in O'Fallon as the extreme heat caused a section of Highway K to buckle yesterday. MoDOT crews did temporary repairs yesterday, but will be making those full repairs today. St. Louis County's long-stalled headquarters decision got a public push yesterday from an employee on his way out the door. Kevin Hutchinson, facilities design and construction project manager, retiring, told the county council it's time to stop stalling on this.
It's time to stand up and choose between the three viable options before the council: building purchase, a lease purchase,
or signing of a new lease.
Hutchinson says the process has been stalled by a lack of money and by mistrust on both sides. He suggests tapping into the county's RAMS settlement fund to help cover the costs. And the clock is ticking for St. Louis County to either retrofit its current headquarters building to fit modern code, which would cost about $100 million, or move to a new home. Tonight's your last chance to catch a free concert at the Missouri Botanical Garden. The last summer concert in the series starts at 7 and features the Bedlam Brothers, a local blues, rock, and folk band.
Hazy sunshine and very warm this afternoon, but with low humidity, the high 88. Mainly clear tonight, low 67. Sunshine mixing with clouds tomorrow, high 87. Friday will turn mostly cloudy, breezy and more humid. Look for a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, mainly in the afternoon, the high 84. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently sunny and 76 degrees. The weather sponsored by Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
For dependable, no-pressure home comfort solutions, turn to Huff Heating and Air Conditioning. Locally owned and family-operated for over 40 years. Our team will work with you on a plan that fits your home's needs with financing available. And as always, your family's comfort is our family's business. Learn more at huffheating.com.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
It's hour 2 of 3 on the Chris and Amy Show, 9 to noon every weekday. Then the Gas House Gang at 12, talking baseball then. But it's time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line again today. And we are now joined by White House correspondent for Midas Touch Network. Luke Radel is with us. Normally we talk to Scott McFarland, who is on assignment. So Luke, who actually works with Scott, is visiting with us today. And of course, a lot is happening in Washington today. Luke, how's it going?
Good morning, Chris. And it's nice that you said that Scott is on assignment. That assignment, I believe, came from his wife to take a well-earned vacation. So we wish him all the best.
That is an assignment.
That's an assignment. You got to take that one.
And you know, I can't imagine that somebody who works in Washington around that madness would ever want any time off.
Yeah.
No, of course not. Why don't we just marinate in it all the time, right? All the toxicity.
All right,
rejuvenating.
Luke, I don't know how much you're following the hearing right now with Dr. Anthony Fauci, who seems to be just using the clicker to up his count on pleading the Fifth Amendment. I know CNN had like a track, and it was he's pled it 40 times, 50 times, 60 times. So he's not answering the questions right now. What do you make of what's going on regarding Dr. Fauci on the Capitol right now?
I was going to say there's not that much to track, considering it's a lot of Republican senators making a lot of allegations towards Dr. Fauci, asking a lot of pointed questions, and Dr. Fauci responding with the same canned line on advice of counsel. I will not be answering your question and pleading my Fifth Amendment rights. And honestly, it kind of puts me in the perspective of Dr. Fauci. Imagine you had your personal diary over the course of several years released to the public. Sources close to Fauci say that it was a total shock that they were going to publish all this information that was found on government servers after an 8-month search by the Department of Health and Human Services. It would be nice to be able to say, you know what, I'm actually not going to take or answer any of your questions about what you found in here. But what you do find if you read through the pages of the diary is someone who was conflicted between doing his job of public service and also receiving a lot of newfound attention. You remember the Dr. Fauci devotional candles. He was on TV almost every night of the week. He was on the cover of magazines. And it seems, at least based on these private and personal writings, that some of that may have gone to his head. Whether that is actually evidence of criminality or some wrongdoing on the part of Dr. Fauci has not been something that's been proven. Even if it were proven, by the way, he was pardoned by President Biden upon leaving office. That pardon, though, only applies to things that happened before President Biden left office, which might be part of why Dr. Fauci is reluctant to say anything more today, because it wouldn't be covered by such a pardon.
So what do Republicans who have, and this was Rand Paul's hearing that he wanted to have, what do they hope to accomplish here other than, I mean, to me, and I'm not trying to editorialize, but it seems like it's more theater than anything else, that there's not going to be any real outcome from it.
Yeah, if you're being charitable towards Rand Paul, who is also someone with a medical background, he believes that the issues surrounding the handling of the COVID-19 pandemic have not been properly examined and looked at. Not entirely clear if they're getting a lot more out of this hearing because Dr. Fauci is refusing to answer those questions and because it has been so long since all of that stuff happened. I'm sure there are many Americans asking why Congress is focused on the pandemic when that is in the rearview mirror for so many Americans. If you're a little bit more cynical about it, you might recall that Dr. Rand Paul published a book with Dr. Fauci's face on the cover, has sent out many fundraising emails calling for Dr. Fauci to be put behind bars and to be held accountable. And so for him, it provides a lot of spotlight. You mentioned that it's been on CNN. It's been all of the cable networks today have been covering this hearing. That provides him and his Republican colleagues with a lot of attention for holding someone who has become something of a right-wing boogeyman to account in a congressional hearing.
And just to be clear, to make sure I understand, since Fauci was pardoned for everything up to what year would that count? What year does the pardon go up to?
It was 2024, right?
So it was right. It'd be January 2025 when President Biden left office.
Okay, so it would go up to there. Could he talk about things like even if it was something he regrets? Wouldn't the pardon cover that, or no? Once he says it now, somehow it reopens something. I guess that's where I'm confused about what he can talk about and what the pardon would cover.
Well, in a lot of these pardon rules, it's hard to tell, and there's likely going to be court challenges made against some of these pardons. What happened with Dr. Fauci and several other members of Biden's family, of Biden's inner circle that were pardoned at the very end of his presidency, or what called preemptive pardons. Mm-hmm. So Dr. Fauci, unlike, say, the president's son Hunter, was not charged with a specific crime, at least not yet. And so this was kind of a blanket preemptive pardon. Okay, if you ever try to pardon him with the crime for anything that he's done during this set time frame, then that will not apply. The concern that I think Dr. Fauci has is not about talking about things that happened in the past, but potentially having some sort of inconsistency with what he says on the stand today and what records or what he actually said in the past. Then he could be tried on perjury charges, lying to Congress, and that would apply because it would have happened today in 2026.
Got it.
Luke Radel for Midas Touch, White House correspondent, is with us on KMOX. What is the latest on the situation with Iran as talks apparently continue? They're on, they're off, there are strikes, there are not strikes. It's ever evolving. So where do we stand today?
It seems like overnight those talks have once again fallen apart. If there were talks to begin with, I should note that the president and the administration here in the U.S. have been saying that Iranians have come back to the table in recent days. That was why they wound down. We had about 12 days in a row of strikes. Those stopped for a couple of days. Earlier this week, the president said the Iranians had come back to the table. The Iranians responded by saying, no, we have not come back to the table. We are not negotiating. There was also some reporting over the weekend about a shortage of munitions, a shortage of bombs and interceptors that the U.S. is very concerned about. Senior military officials are very concerned about. The president has downplayed and denied those reports. But it seems like, based on the overnight developments that we got, those surprise attack that CENTCOM reported on a U.S. base in Jordan, it seems as though the Iranians are not talking, certainly not right now. It's possible they weren't talking at all, but they were not talking at that moment when they launched a surprise attack on the base in Jordan. The president told a reporter for Fox News they had just minutes to respond to that attack and intercept those missiles, which thankfully they did successfully. They have not had a 100% success rate in intercepting those strikes on forces in the region. We saw, sadly, 4 service members killed on the U.S. base in Jordan just a few short days ago. And I think it's emblematic of the fact that this is kind of an on-again, off-again, very volatile situation that is putting those service members who are in the region in harm's way. The president has now vowed to retaliate against Iran using language that I can't use over the airwaves without catching an FCC violation, but it was very colorful language.
No, it'd
about
be our
what he
violation.
wants to do to Iran.
You'd be in the clear. It'd be our violation. We'd be the ones responsible for it.
But I like you guys, so I would feel bad if that was the case. It is presidential language now, apparently, so I maybe he would give us a pass. But suffice it to say, he is not happy with the latest developments out of Iran and is overall not happy that he hasn't been able to wind this war to a conclusion. He promised it would be 4 to 6 weeks. It's now dragged on for several months, and we are now just less than 100 days from the midterm elections. I believe 97 days to be specific. And the longer this goes on, the more unpopular it's gotten, and the more unpopular Republicans who are running under the Trump ticket are getting in key swing states and races.
Well, going back to the colorful language that the president used, he was talking to Fox News chief foreign correspondent Trey Yingst this morning. So on Fox News, he said, "We're going to beat the effing blank out of them. We'll be hitting them hard. They're going to get a beating." End quote. So I know there is what the president says and then what actually happens. Do we see this as predicating, more military strikes? Is it the president expressing his frustration and then the military will take care of it the way it does versus something more explosive that the language would imply?
I am relatively new to the White House beat, but I've talked to people who have been on the Trump White House beat now for the past 10 years, and even they, I don't think, would make predictions about what Donald Trump will do next. The only person who knows what Donald Trump is going to do next is usually Donald Trump, and sometimes he doesn't even know. And so the idea, we've seen a lot of threats made. He's made promises to have bridge and power plant day. That would be bombing the bridges and power plants in Iran, which, by the way, by any objective measure, would be a war crime to attack civilian infrastructure, something that Trump has actually copped to in recent comments on Fox News just yesterday, talking about how if he bombed the bridges and bombed the power plants in Iran, that would harm the civilian population in Iran, which is by definition a war crime. But that's one of the things that he has proposed and has not yet followed through on. There are plenty of other options. I'm sure he is meeting in the Situation Room with his military advisors, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs Stan Kane, the Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, the Vice President J.D. Vance have all been very involved in this war effort, and they're giving him a menu of options, some that are proportional to the strikes that we saw on Jordan and some that are not as proportional, that are more extreme. Based on his public comments, it seems like he may be tilting more towards the more extreme option, but we're not really going to know until we actually see what the president does and whether he is trying to de-escalate the situation or move towards trying to scare Iran back to coming to the negotiating table.
A new CNN poll released today, it was conducted by SSRS. It shows that 73% of adults in the United States think that the president is not paying enough attention to the country's most important problems. 27% say that he does have the correct priorities. I'm struck by that number because usually that number is never under like 33, 35%. A disapproval number for him. So with there being, 97 days from the midterms, what do you think this means politically?
Well, you just have to look at the issues that the president has been talking about and focused on. He was going to Michigan allegedly to talk about the economy, to talk about manufacturing coming back to the country, and instead spent that time talking about a variety of other issues that were not related to what was happening. We saw over the weekend the president speaking at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, attacking reporters in the room, attacking Rosie O'Donnell, attacking any number of his favorite individuals to single out and to attack, as opposed to focusing on those issues of affordability and the economy and healthcare. The president's promised for 10 years that he'll have a healthcare plan in 2 weeks, and yet we've never actually seen what alternatives he has proposed for Obamacare and for those issues. It's not even an issue that's talked about anymore. We used to talk about how to reform and fix healthcare in this country, how to reform and fix our education system in this country. These are just topics of conversation that have completely been abandoned, all for this fixation on a war in the Middle East that most Americans don't support. There was a poll from Reuters that said that only 1 in 3 Americans are supportive of the war. That's the lowest by far, and it didn't start out very high either. And so when you're seeing numbers like that, with 97 days to go until the midterm elections, there is not a lot of time to turn that around. Voters really start paying attention in about a month or so, around Labor Day is when they really lock in and start deciding who they're going to vote for. And with gas prices remaining as high as they were at the start of this war, not coming back down very precipitously, and probably won't come down precipitously because of the realities in the Middle East and the Strait of Hormuz, in the Red Sea, it's not a good environment right now for Republicans, and their best hope is that they will be able to hang on in the United States Senate so that Democrats do not have full control of both chambers of Congress.
Luke Radel, White House correspondent for Midas Touch. We appreciate your time today, and go ahead and reach out to Scott for us on his vacation.
Will do.
And tell him that we need him.
I thought Luke was
Thank you
great.
very much.
No, Luke was great.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
that sounds terrible. Luke was
okay.
Luke, I didn't mean it like that.
outstanding.
What I'm saying is I would just like to...
I need him back too. I need him back too.
I would
of
just
course.
I just want to interrupt Scott McFarland's vacation. That's all
Just
I want.
tell him we say hi. Hope he's having a good
Certainly.
time.
Will do.
And Luke, we hope
Happy
to talk
to do
to
it.
you again.
And we will talk to you again, Luke. We're going to put you to work, too. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Amy. Really appreciate it.
Luke Radel with Midas Touch, White House correspondent there, joining us on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Bill, you're an old politician.
Yup, sure am.
So you know the old-timers warned that someone trying to sell you a pig in a poke was a con man.
Well, sure.
Well, no offense, Tom, but your Politicians Amendment 5 is a pig in a poke, allowing politicians to raise our taxes without a vote of the people. And the Politicians Amendment 4 takes away our power to do anything about it. Well, let's look at what's really inside Forward 5.
Oh, don't do that.
5 hits hardest seniors and those struggling financially with new taxes on services like doctor visits, in-home care, and rent. Sales taxes could more than triple. For up to 80% of Missourians, it's a tax hike. And Amendment 4 ends majority rule, effectively ending our power to stop corrupt and out-of-control politicians.
Slick plan, huh?
No, Tom. 4 and 5 are schemes that hurt citizens and transfer our power and our money to politicians and lobbyists. That's why I'm voting no on the Politicians Amendments 4 and 5, paid for by Missourians for Fair Government.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Tired of your phone bill constantly going up? Stop the madness with Boost Mobile. Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month. No contracts, no catches. And that $25 price is locked in forever. Switch to Boost Mobile today.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
We have an update on the giant pile of dirt in Soulard.
Mount Soulard?
The giant pile
Yes.
is becoming a medium-sized pile.
Don't tell me that.
And is very close to becoming a no pile. as far as we are told. And our very own Jade Aubrey with some reporting on the Soulard Grand dirt pile.
Cleanup efforts have started at 2221 South 7th Street in Soulard, which is the property the over 15 feet tall mound of dirt sits on. Last week, the acting building commissioner for the city of St. Louis said he believed the dirt piled up after the owner allowed a small amount of material to be dumped from a nearby construction site, and that the dumping snowballed over several months. JLN Soulard Properties declined to comment last week, but now in a statement to KMOX, a spokesperson for the owner says he was, quote, completely unaware of the situation until the city reached out. He says a contractor from a different project used the site without authorization and that the mound will be cleared within the next week to 10 days. Today, a crew is on site and taking truckfuls of dirt from the property. Jade Aubrey, KMOX News.
All right, so
We didn't know.
he says he didn't know.
But they paid the fine.
They did.
Fines.
We don't have any reason. I don't know this person, so I don't have any reason to suspect he is lying.
No.
But it is.
But someone was paying the fines.
Somebody must have been paying the fines.
And that the dumping snowballed over several months.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something with this dirt pile.
Yeah.
We have sinkholes that are opening up around the city.
Oh, I know where you're going with
Why not
this.
just take the dirt and dump it in the holes?
I
Then pave over the holes. I'm sure it would be structurally sound.
It makes sense that if in some areas of the city you have giant mountains of earth and ground growing because of dumping, and in other parts of the city you have giant holes where there is no earth, that those two problems together could go hand in hand for a solution. Honestly, I think we did it. I think we fixed the problem because yesterday we said that we were going to broadcast live from Mount Soulard. I texted our boss, Steve, about it. Said, we need to broadcast live from the dirt pile. And every time we, not threaten, but get excited about broadcasting live from what could be deemed a nuisance, that nuisance is resolved. For instance, we were going to broadcast live from the totaled car that was parked outside this building for months. We were going to broadcast outside the dumpster, the overflowing dumpster that was on Washington. And the day after we announced we were broadcasting live, they cleaned it up. And now the dirt pile.
Well, there's also the sinkhole. They were working on that. But we tried to do a show from there, too.
I think the problem with that is we couldn't get close enough to the sinkhole.
So according to Jade, who has sent over a couple of photos, it is the mound, the dirt pile is about a third smaller.
Wow.
And that was as of early this morning. Now, I'm going to go by today. I'm going to drive by and see the dirt pile on the way home. And I will tell you that the last 2 days I've gone by, there's been a giant excavator sitting on top of the pile, and there's been a man inside who's just looking on his phone.
You're not talking to him? Why don't you?
But he's enclosed in a glass booth. I can't just walk up to him.
Like in
throw a rock
in
at
the
him.
romantic movies. Not at him, but at the glass where, it tinks on the glass.
Yeah, what if I okay, that's just an outrageous idea.
That is not outrageous.
But the guy's on his phone.
Yeah, you got to get his attention.
Just looking on his phone, probably scrolling TikTok, and he should be excavating.
I thought
You don't
said,
sit in an excavator and not excavate.
To be honest, of all the places to waste time, I feel like an excavator is not a great one. They're probably hourly, depending on if it's your own excavator. But Ranj,
He doesn't own this thing because it's huge.
I thought you said at 1:30 yesterday.
Yeah.
It was still pretty big.
Still pretty big. Still pretty big
so
pile.
they did that work in the afternoon?
I don't know.
Certainly
They must
not.
have.
What's that guy doing?
He was on his phone. I don't know. He was on TikTok.
Wouldn't it be funny if you get a look at his phone? He's just like scrolling through excavator videos on TikTok.
He's on YouTube looking at.
That's a cool looking one, man. I wish I had that one.
One of the most popular excavating accounts.
What if he was
on
Googling
how to
get off of the top of a giant dirt pile in an excavator?
He's texting his friend, I'm locked in the excavator right now.
I'm just saying he looked really bored. Now, I told that to Jade in the newsroom, and her suggestion was, well, maybe he was waiting for the dump truck to come back to collect more dirt, and there's nothing else to do except sit in the excavator and look at TikTok.
I'd play with the excavator. I'd be swinging it around and
I would
picking up
too.
stuff.
Maybe there's a rule against that.
In the words of Andrew Stoles, it's every little boy's dream.
To play with an excavator.
To get Ozzie Smith's autograph and to play with an excavator. I would love to do the spin around thing.
Yeah.
Maybe there are rules against it. You probably can't just do that for fun. You got to be very, very careful.
636 says, because we have know-it-all listeners, he's waiting on a dump truck.
Yeah, that's what Jade suggested.
But maybe, well, then maybe you need more than one dump truck. I feel like there's a lot of downtime going on here.
Got to give him something to do. Can't just have him sitting up there in full view of everybody going by, going like, that dude's not working.
I feel like I would
just
get
sitting
out.
in his excavator.
Wouldn't you get out if you had an hour to kill? You'd get out of the excavator?
Too hot. Way too
They
hot.
have AC in there?
Got to, yes.
Hey, know-it-all listeners, do excavators have AC?
Yes, they do.
You don't know that.
This is just a hot box. He's sitting in this hot glass box. Come on. John Rooney, voice of the Cardinals, will talk a little baseball with us when we come back on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The trade deadline is fast approaching, and Cardinals news could break at any moment. Will they buy? Will they sell? Every move shapes the future. Stay with KMOX Sports for breaking news, trade rumors, and expert analysis. KMOX is where you hear from the people making it.
There are things that pop up within a couple hours of the deadline that didn't seem to be at all possible.
On air, on X, at KMOX Sports, the voice of your Cardinals. KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
79 degrees and sunny, less humid today. A high of 89. Tonight, clear with a low of 65.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Why pay full insurance when you can customize and save? Switch to Liberty Mutual and they'll customize your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. You know, when you go to the Audiology Center, you'll see a doctor of audiology. And with us right now, Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler, what are some of the signs of hearing loss?
Well, it's a number of things. Sometimes loved ones notice a person asking others to repeat themselves, or the television is too loud. What people tend to notice first with hearing loss is the loss of clarity. They can hear people talking, but they cannot always understand what's being said. That's because the hearing loss can cause you to miss certain consonant sounds, and those consonant sounds give us the detail to the word. A hearing aid can help bring back those details and give you a sense of clarity that you're missing.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center with 3 locations in the greater St. Louis area. Call for an appointment, 636-441-7470. Online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. I'm Bill Eigel. I'm a no on data centers. Last year, when a new hyperscale data center was up for a vote in St. Charles City, I'm the only candidate for county executive who stood with you in opposition. Meanwhile, Steve Ellman was writing op-eds in support of data centers. In fact, he spent $400,000 of your taxpayer money to identify 6 locations just for data centers in St. Charles County. I'm Bill Eigel, and if you don't want data centers in our county, then I'm asking for your vote on August 4th.
Paid for by Eigel from Missouri. Lisa Borchers, treasurer.
There's a saying, it takes a group of good men to build a barn, and only one
to tear it down. Well, a few Jeff City politicians are at it again, tearing things down with Amendment 5 and Amendment 4. No on 5 and 4. 5 takes our money with higher sales taxes, higher taxes on gas, guns, and groceries, a sales tax hike on rent and diesel, seed and feed. 4 takes away our constitutional right to vote and go around the establishment politicians and to stop higher taxes. Takes away our safety valve, a vote of the people to stop or reverse a dumb idea like the everything tax. I'm a no. A heck no. No. No on Amendment 5. No on Amendment 4. No on both 4 and 5. Paid for by no on the everything tax.
Today, the Cards, the Cubs.
Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 645.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, the Cardinals Conversation on KMOX. Sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we've got Missouri covered.
Ground ball to the third baseman. The throw by Bregman beats Jimmy Crooks, and this ballgame has come to an end. The Cubs went up 2-0 in the first. They were up 7-0 after 2 on the way to a 10-2 victory.
First couple of games of the series against the Cubs have not gone the Cardinals' way, but Game 3 is this evening, 5:50 for the pregame, 6:45 for the first pitch, and yes, it is here on 104.1 FM KMOX and the Odyssey app. And the voice you just heard was that of John Rooney, voice of the Cardinals, and he'll have the call tonight again. As the Cards are, the best they could do is get back to 500 and hopefully win today and then again tomorrow and split the series against the tough Cubs team. John Rooney, thank you for being with us today. How are you?
Doing fine, Chris.
Good. Well, it's good to have you. Unfortunately, the Cardinals find themselves for the first time under 500 this season. And I guess just, taking a step back and looking at it, it's quite an accomplishment for a team that from the outside did not have a whole lot of expectations to have been a 500 or better team all the way through till this point of the year, so late in the season.
But this team and these guys, the way they played, they expect a lot more than being a game under 500. I can tell you that. But you're as good as that day's starting pitcher, and starting pitching the first 2 games of the series just hasn't measured up against the Cubs hitting. The Cubs got hot in the series against the Pirates, took 2 out of 3, came very close to sweeping that series with a comeback on Sunday, and they've carried that momentum over into this series so far. And last night, one of those rare games where McGreevy, when he made mistakes, the Cubs didn't miss them.
Derek Gould has a story in the Post-Dispatch and quotes Alec Burleson, who says, baseball is happening to us, and it can be frustrating, but I think we've got the right group in here to get past that. And, it's kind of a good way to put it. It's a long season. It's a tough season. It's a game of a lot of failure, and this is a good test for the young Cardinal crew to, see if they can get out of it sooner rather than later.
Well, Amy, I think what I said a moment ago echoes what they feel in that clubhouse, as put together very well by Alec Burleson in his comments. They feel like they should be playing better. They should be getting more timely hitting. And interesting on the post-game show last night that Danny and Ricky Horton, they had the average exit velocity on Cardinal outs was like 2 miles an hour faster than the Cubs' exit velocity. And the Cubs just put the ball in play, found openings. The Cardinals put the ball in play, but had many of those caught. And a lot of them on the warning track or very close to the warning track with what I thought were pretty good drives and might have a chance to get out last night. And that's what Alec Burleson is saying. Baseball is happening right now to the Cardinals with their offense. And when you're a pitcher down like JoJo Romero, Riley O'Brien has been under the weather, it takes away from the bullpen. Strzelecki came on last night. We'll see what he can do as he gave up a run, but so did everybody else, it seems like. It was the Cubs' night last night and winning that one, but try to bounce back, get a good start from Dustin May tonight, get the offense clicking, and find some of those openings and then the Cardinals will get the outcome they want.
Yeah, that offense, as you mentioned, has not been particularly good since the All-Star break. So we're talking about a couple of weeks' time here. Why do you suppose it is? Is it just a bad stretch of baseball? Is it something that might be a trend you see continuing? How do you look at it?
Well, you see they make contact. They're getting the exit velocity, as I said, on the outs was more than what the Cubs had in exit velocity in the game last night. But they're hitting it right to people, and it's a matter of finding some openings. It's not that they're up there striking out all the time. There have been some inopportune strikeouts along the way since the All-Star break ended, but it's fighting through it, and it's going out there and making adjustments as you have to do almost every day in this game, or you can't survive it over the course of 190 days and 162 games. No, stay the course. That's what they have to do, and they have to work through it. Every team has to go through this, whether you're first in the standings or whether you're last in the standings. You get a bad stretch, you have to play through it. And if you don't, then you'll see what will happen at the end. You won't get the results you want.
You know, and just to echo what you're saying, the Cardinals over the last 14 days have the third best strikeout rate for any offense. It's only the Diamondbacks and Padres who have been better. So they're making a lot of contact. It just, as you said, it's not finding the field.
And they ran into Peterson, and he wasn't very good with the Mets. They beat him. He gave up 10 earned runs on July 3rd, but he had a sinking fastball going, and he got a lot of ground ball outs and some weak contact. And I'll have to tip my hat to him on that, as the Cardinals were putting the ball in play, but not much authority in game one of the series. And last night they hit the ball pretty hard, and a lot of those died on the warning track.
Does it matter to a player, if you're going through a slump, you're not scoring? Does it matter if you're still making contact, putting balls in play versus, striking out a lot, or is a slump a slump?
You'd have to ask them that, Amy. It's different with each player, I would think. But they're out there trying to put the ball in play, and they figure they have a good swing on that pitch, and they just happen to hit it to a fielder. That's what's happened, at least in the first two games of this series, where they have put the ball in play and they haven't found the openings Cubs have, where Bregman is breaking out of his slump. He had been slumping even in Pittsburgh, but broke out of it big time. And Happ last night had and I thought the game was won in the first inning, when Happ had that lengthy at bat, 10, 11, 12 pitches, and then doubled just off Walker's glove, off the webbing, and hit the screen out by the bullpen. Those two runs set the tone for the night, and the Cubs got the line moving the next inning. And I think it took a lot out of McGreevy, who topped 30 pitches in the first inning, to have to come right back out and compete with the way the Cubs were making contact. But I think that Happ at bat set the tone for what the Cubs were able to do in scoring 10 runs last night.
As I said earlier, Cardinals for the first time this season are under 500. They're 2.5 games out of a wild card spot right now. And you've had a chance to see the Marlins and the Pirates and the Diamondbacks, and you've seen them up close. All these teams that are in front of the Cardinals. What do you make of this group of teams that are all pretty bunched up together in the wild card race?
Well, really, Chris, from what I've seen out of every team the Cardinals have played, there have been some times where they've been overmatched. Milwaukee has been more than a handful, but maybe Milwaukee aside, the Cardinals have won series against the Cubs. They've won series against the Dodgers. They won the season series against them last year, and the Dodgers ended up winning it all by about an inch and a half. If that one runner had been safe at the plate, the Blue Jays would have been celebrating, and not the Dodgers. But the Cardinals seem to play and hold their own with a lot of teams. They've struggled lately because the bullpen has either been ineffective late in the game or the starting pitching. Starting pitching, for the most part, since the All-Star break, hasn't been that bad. And it's just been a couple of breakdowns in the bullpen that cost them games and things that you just didn't quite expect. But I don't think there's a whole lot of difference when the Cardinals play about anybody. Everybody has some holes. Everybody has some problems, even the teams that are contending. Boston has put on such a surge to put themselves back in the thick of playoff contention, and we're going to be going up against the Yankees. The Rays have been a really good, consistent team. The Cardinals won a series to start the season against them. It's just a matter of how you're playing at that time when you go into a certain series. I think there's a lot more parity in baseball, and some call it mediocrity in some regards. But you want to get into October, you want to make a run, but you also want to be playing really good baseball when you do, or you won't last very long.
John, this is an important time for the Cardinals and around baseball. We're less than a week away from the trade deadline, which comes up on Monday. And there are players who know that there's a possibility they might be moved somewhere else, that the clubhouse might look a little different. But how have you seen business ongoing during this time where players are aware that there's a possibility of changes coming? I believe we've lost John.
We have.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what happened. Maybe the dirt pile got to him too.
maybe the excavator hit the phone line.
Yeah. It probably did.
Yeah.
It probably took out some of those fiber optic lines that are buried underground.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. We'll hook up with John. That was John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals. Yes. And we will talk to him again. Do we talk to him on Fridays, or am I making that up?
We used to. Not anymore.
No, we don't. Okay. Gas House Gang?
That sounds so sad when you say it like that.
Yeah.
Sounds like we got demoted.
I don't think we've been demoted, but yeah. So we will talk to John next week here on the Chris and Amy Show, which goes until 12. And we will have the Gas House Gang at noon today. It'll be Tom Ackerman and me. And we're going to talk to Cubs fan David Kaplan.
Oh, wow.
From the Cap and Hood show in Chicago at ESPN. So we'll talk to him. He's a big-time Cubs fan. So,
but in the meantime, you'll want to keep listening to Chris and Amy because we also have tickets to give away.
We do have tickets to give away.
And
we're going to tell you all about it. And we do have our Twitter poll, our question of this week, which we came up with today. And we need you to go to @ChrisAmyKMOX and vote in our question of the week. Who is the worst trader to St. Louis?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Panera Bread or the Rams?
Wow, that's a great question.
Yep. The worst trader in the history of St. Louis.
Yeah.
Is it Panera Bread or is it the Rams? Panera, in case you haven't heard, is moving its headquarters to the Boston area in Massachusetts.
What a loser move.
Yeah, we found that out yesterday. They are dead to us, just like the Rams are. @ChrisAmyKMOX. Follow us on Twitter and vote right there, pinned at the top.
At Missouri Farm Bureau Health Plans, your health is our commitment. That's why we provide high-quality health coverage at affordable rates to Missourians like you. And unlike other options, you can apply at any time throughout the year. From individual and family plans to dental vision coverage, our plan options are designed to meet your needs. Together we care, together we grow, together we thrive. Missouri Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us. Visit us at mofbhealthplans.com and contact your agent today.
The Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum is the official home of Cardinals history. For those who want to be a part of one of the sport's greatest collections in the world, museum membership is the way to go. Cardinals Museum membership provides unlimited admission for 1 year, exclusive Hall of Fame bobbleheads, discounts, ticket offers, and more, in addition to supporting exhibit design and artifact restoration. There are a variety of membership levels, including our ultimate level of membership. For more info and to join, go to cardinals.com/membership.
The soundtrack of classic rock is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater August 6th. Leonard Skinner and Foreigner joining forces for one epic night of legendary hits and unforgettable memories. It's the Double Trouble Double Vision Tour. From Sweet Home Alabama to Cold as Ice. Don't miss your chance to experience these two rock and roll Hall of Fame acts in one incredible show. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age. making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Voss, Treasurer.
Breaking news. Missouri will vote on Amendment 4 this August. Right now, a ballot measure passes in Missouri if it gets a majority of votes statewide. Amendment 4 would permanently end that. If Amendment 4 passes, it would rewrite the Missouri Constitution. So instead of using the total statewide vote to decide if something is approved, a measure would need to win a majority of votes separately in each of Missouri's 8 congressional districts in order to pass. So one district could veto the will of most Missourians. That means with Amendment 4, just 5% of voters could overrule what the majority of Missouri citizens want. Opponents of Amendment 4 say it undermines the sacred principle of one person, one vote, and takes away the people's power, giving it to politicians and special interests instead. Protect majority rule. Vote no on Amendment 4. Paid for by Protect Majority Rule Missouri, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
We love to give things away on the Chris and Amy Show, and we will before the show is over today, so not right now. But if you were, and this is why you should always be listening through the commercial breaks, because you probably heard the promo for Foreigner and Lynyrd Skynyrd coming to St. Louis, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater on August 6th. So we are about a week away from that, and we have a pair of tickets to give away to you today. You got to be listening for your opportunity to win those tickets, and we do wish you the best of luck. It is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX until 12 o'clock. Then it's the Gas House Gang. And as we mentioned, we do have our question of the week on Twitter. So you got to follow us at Chris Amy KMOX and then go vote in it with the news that Panera is leaving St. Louis, leaving Fenton, because that's where their headquarters is. They are moving to the Boston area. The question of the week is, who is the worst traitor to St. Louis? Is it Panera Bread or the Rams?
I voted. Did you vote?
I did vote.
Okay.
It is my right to not tell you who I voted for.
I didn't ask.
Kent in Creve Coeur is with us on KMOX. Good morning, Kent.
Good morning.
What's up?
I have an objection to the nature of the question because you really, in my opinion, can't compare them. Panera started here, and I knew the 3 men that started it back in 1987. They had a corporate presence here for 40 years. They made a lot of people a lot of money, not only as employees but as shareholders. And they continue. How many stores do they have in the market? They will continue to be an economic presence in the market. If you're going to put them on the list, what about Southwestern Bell that hightailed it to Texas, or General Dynamics that ankled us for Washington. There are a lot of other people, I think, that are a lot worse, and I wouldn't try to even compare Panera to the Rams.
Well, the Rams brought us a Super Bowl that we can have forever.
And where are they now?
Los Angeles.
And we have about 40 Panera stores in St. Louis paying payroll and rent to the landlords.
Well, what about all the people that work at headquarters?
Well, that's a corporate decision. Again, you go to TWA, General Dynamics, Boeing.
Well, TWA doesn't even exist anymore.
Well,
Boeing is here.
Well, but they left. They took their corporate headquarters. McDonnell Douglas took their corporate headquarters out of St. Louis.
Is Panera going to operate a massive facility here?
No, I don't know what the nature of.
He's got 40 stores. That's massive.
There are 40 stores in every city. We're not special anymore.
But they aren't closing them. They're not just pulling up roots and leaving St. Louis. I don't know how big a corporate presence they had at one
Kent?
time.
Maybe they should. Maybe they should just pick up all their stores and leave.
Kent, don't fall for it.
I think they should just pick up all their stores
He's
and
trying
go
to
away.
bait you.
I'll tell the landlords what you're saying. Harris Spencer would love, and the county executive would love to hear you say that.
All right. I'm gonna pass it along to both Mayor Spencer
I think they listen.
and to the county
I
executive,
think
Sam
both
Page.
Sam Page and Kara Spencer. But Sam Page
Speaking
doesn't
of-
matter because he's going out.
Yeah, he's leaving. Speaking of Mayor Spencer, we
He's
are going
also
to be
leaving. Is he? Is he
Who?
staying in St. Louis? Sam Page?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know his living situation.
Nobody does.
What I do know is that Mayor Kara Spencer is set to be joining us on this show the second Wednesday of every month. So
Yes.
we're gonna talk to
That's
her
gonna be
monthly.
awesome.
And the first time will be August 12. Is that correct?
12, yes.
August
The
12.
12 of August.
Can you spell 12?
Yeah, it's really tough. There's a secret F in there.
It's not a secret. It's been there forever.
It's kind of secret.
I think it's one of the harder words to spell. There's another one, and I can't remember what word it is. I'll think of it. There's another word that's hard to spell.
No, think of it right now. We got time.
Riveting. Squawk. Can you spell squawk?
No. Who is the worst trader in St. Louis history? Is it Panera Bread or is it the Rams? You can vote in our Twitter poll at Chris Amy KMOX. And you have to follow us and then go vote.
Yeah, that would be key.
How dare Panera?
I have a quick update in the last minute here of our hour. Remember the bird that I rescued?
I had forgotten about it
Well,
because it was time to move on
the bird that fell down the chimney
in your house.
in my house, right? And I tried to cover it up so that he would fly back up the chimney, which I didn't think would work, and it didn't work. But immediately had a pest guy come out, and the bird flew home to his family. Well, guess what? We found the bird, the hole in the chimney. There was a hole.
Oh, thank God I was worried about
We
this.
fixed the hole,
Yeah.
and the whole family, remember the bird family was staring at me? They stopped staring at me.
Yeah. I mean, this is
Do you know how
the update we needed.
Do you know how disconcerting it is to have 5 or 6 birds perched on your window just staring at you?
No, I don't think I'd mind that. As long as they're not pooping on my living
how is
space,
that,
I don't
How is
care.
that going for you?
Right now, I saw one little poop stain today on the.
They're going to have babies.
Whose was it?
Don't know. One of the birds.
It wasn't just like a
it was a
neighbor.
bird.
Yeah, wasn't a neighbor, as far as I know.
Or the
if,
owner.
if it was a neighbor, they need to go to the doctor immediately. Shark Week is happening now, baby. Shark Week on Discovery, and when we come back, we're gonna have a little shark celebration in this room. They're gonna bring one in here. Rich Collier and Isaac Lippert from the St. Louis Aquarium are going to talk sharks with us when we come back on KMOX.
The radical left let crime and drugs pour into our nation, and they let biological men into girls' sports. But here in Missouri, if there's a problem, we fix it. That's why Ann Wagner's fixing the mess the radical left made and delivering for us. Wagner voted to ban biological men from competing in girls' sports, and she voted to fund the police and provide more resources for Border Patrol agents, keeping our families, communities, and children safe. And Ann Wagner didn't stop there. In Congress, Wagner passed the largest working class tax cut in American history. kept big government out of our business, protected our way of life, and ensured our communities remain safe. That's why Ann Wagner's endorsed by the Missouri Farm Bureau and Missouri Fraternal Order of Police. Vote Ann Wagner for Congress on August 4th.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at Amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm Ultima Morgan. Morgan & Morgan isn't just an injury firm. It's our family's life work. It's my husband, it's my sons, it's me. When we take a case, we see a family just like ours. $30 billion recovered is something I'm proud of. But what I'm really proud of are the families we stood beside. It's an honor to fight for you when you need our support the most. Morgan & Morgan, for the people and your family.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
It is 11 o'clock and we've got sunshine, 80 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Federal Express is closing the facility on Hanley Road. The closure is expected to be permanent. 68 full-time employees will lose their jobs at that facility. In Earth City, the Lakefront Drive facility, there's 75 full-time employees there that will be out of work. The cuts take effect September 28th. FedEx said in its WARN notification that closures are due to business reorganization. The employees impacted aren't part of any union, and no bumping rights are available. Don't compare us to Florida or Texas or Nevada, says Governor Mike Kehoe. When looking at states that have no income tax, those states make up for it with tourism dollars. Instead, he says Missouri is comparing itself to Tennessee.
That state is growing in population. People are leaving these other states that have high regulations, high tax burdens, et cetera, not good work environments, and they're coming to Midwest states. And Tennessee has proven that that has drawn many people there.
But Tennessee's tourism revenue is still more than 50% higher than Missouri's. One of Kehoe's major priorities is passage of Amendment 5, which would eliminate the income tax and replace it with higher and expanded sales taxes. The governor was a guest on KMOX's Chris and Amy. The Senate Homeland Security Committee hearing with Dr. Anthony Fauci continues on Capitol Hill, chaired by Republican Rand Paul of Kentucky, who has been critical of Fauci for years. Paul directed criticism towards one of Fauci's attorneys, whom he says violated the rules by talking out of turn. Ranking member Gary Peters of Michigan.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to hear what the attorney has to say.
He is not recognized by the committee or the chair. If he speaks again, he will be removed from the room.
And then that attorney was forcibly removed by Capitol Police. Fauci invoking his Fifth Amendment right to decline to answer questions, citing what he calls a partisan obsession with calling for his prosecution by Senator Paul, who has said he wants to see Fauci behind bars. The Illinois State Police holding a statewide hiring event specifically for women. Women interested in law enforcement can learn more about ISP careers at the Women of ISP Career Pathway event going on right now at SWIC in Belleville until 1 p.m. Well, very soon you'll be able to see 3 new fuzzy baby penguins at the St. Louis Zoo. 3 pufflings hatched this summer and are almost ready to join the rest of the flock at the Penguin and Puffin Post. The zoo says the birds' weights tripling every 3 days as their appetites get bigger and bigger.
Hazy sunshine and quite warm this afternoon, but with a lot less humidity than recent days, the high 88. Moonlit skies tonight, low 67. Sunshine and some clouds tomorrow, high 87. For Friday, mostly cloudy, breezy, and more humid. Look for a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, particularly in the afternoon. Friday's high 84. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 80 degrees with sunshine right now. The weather is sponsored by McKelvey Homes. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Find the space your family deserves at the Estates at Post Farms by McKelvey Homes in O'Fallon. Spacious new homes, top-rated Wentzville schools, and easy access to shopping, dining, and major highways. All with McKelvey's legendary craftsmanship. Tour today at McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Chris Raunchy, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, we are in the middle of Shark Week, and it's celebrated every year about this time. And I love Shark Week. All kinds of Discovery Channel programming happening right now. We just talked to a couple of days ago, Keith Poe, who is a very well-known shark tagger, and he's got a show coming out. In fact, it actually came out earlier this week about Makos. They're looking for the largest Mako shark. Mm-hmm. We are now joined in studio by 2 representatives from the St. Louis Aquarium. Curator of Aquatics and Life Support Systems, Rich Collier, is here with us in studio, and Animal Care Manager Isaac Lippert both join us. We appreciate you guys coming in during Shark Week. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having us here.
Doing good. Thanks.
This is fun, right? I love Shark Week.
This is great. Let's talk about it.
What is your favorite thing about it?
This is the enthusiasm of the kids coming to see the sharks. This is about the entire globe is looking at sharks and thinking about them and either wanting to learn more or work with them independently or just celebrate them on their whole. Yep.
Well, what kind of sharks do we have at the St. Louis Aquarium?
Yeah, we have 9 different species of sharks actually at the St. Louis Aquarium. So we have white-spotted bamboo sharks that you guys can actually touch in the touch pool. We've got the more sharky-looking sharks we call in our shark canyon. So that would be like your sandbar sharks, your zebra sharks. We got some fun ones like tasseled wobbegongs. That's a fun one to say. So, yeah, we've got quite a few. We've actually got 24 total sharks in the aquarium. So,
what's the largest type of shark you guys have?
I would say probably the nurse shark, the widest and the longest.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they're kind of potato in shape and
potato shape.
Potato shape
shark.
Yeah, that's what we say.
So
potato.
Well, you don't want to put the wrong shark in the touch pool, probably.
Probably not. Yeah, they all get their own, normal habitats.
I think we were at about 160 pounds on the nurse at one time when we weighed him or her, and then over the length of their life, the nurse will get larger. The sandbar browns are pretty robust animals as well. They may be similar in size.
So how do you go about curating which animals, which sharks you're going to have there? Because there's obviously, as you know, there is a very large fascination with sharks that people have, and a lot of it is the danger of them. They look scary, they're mysterious. So, I mean, how do you decide who or what you're going to have there?
This is all part of the development process. You're working with architects, engineers, right? Tank size. So what's habitable for the animals that you are having in mind to put in there? And then you're going back towards the industry and what has worked and what are we really good at taking care of, right? And what do we want to challenge ourselves with? What do the guests want to see? What's the interaction? What's the intent of the exhibit? These are the things we're looking at. And then you go from there. And you have your limitations based on a bunch of that, and you build from within. And a lot of these animals do very well in human care, and we're thriving.
What extra special activities do you guys have for Shark Week there at the aquarium?
We, the St. Louis Zoo, or St. Louis Aquarium, is once again punching above its weight class. We have opened the back of house area to Shark Canyon for all guests. So you get to go back into the husbandry areas, the life sport areas where we work with these animals and oversee the tank. And so you can walk the perimeter, you can walk across our rope bridge, and you can see divers in the water. You can see feedings during certain times of the day that we do that. This is a unique vantage point that's not often given, and I can't name a aquarium that also does that. So that is really cool. We have Shark Twain, our mascot. Is going to visit us.
Ask you about
He's
Shark
going to
Twain.
visit us Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for breakfast. If you want to come attend that with the
So
kids.
that's tomorrow, starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow through the weekend.
Okay.
Yep.
Who is Shark Twain?
Shark Twain is our mascot. Even everybody's on
Is he
board.
a land shark?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
he is.
Okay.
He's very tall.
Yes.
Yes. Has a big head. Yeah, he's fun for the kids.
Okay.
Soda fountains even getting in on the fun. They have a shark bite freak shake that you can get and eat.
Say
Take
that
a bite out of
5
that
times
yourself. And so everybody's involved with this. We have divers in the tank every day doing dive shows about 1:15, and then they'll do a little cleaning afterwards.
So do you guys get in the tanks with the sharks?
I do.
Isaac does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All
At
right. What's
least
that like?
once a week, so it's pretty fun. That's
Yeah.
probably the best part of the job, I would say.
You have a special outfit?
A wetsuit?
A special outfit? Yeah, just a wetsuit?
Well, sometimes in October we'll get into some costumes and stuff, so do some fun things.
And December.
And December, yeah.
Wait, you get in costumes in the tank?
Yeah.
With the. All right. Does it confuse the sharks? Or are they already confused
I don't
because
think
you're in
so.
there?
Yeah, we're kind of scary aliens when we get in there. So we got all these bubbles and we're making noise and tubes, and imagine what we look like, flailing weirdos in their habitat. So they usually spend most of the time on the other side of the tank anyway.
So they're not curious. They don't come up and like, what is going on here?
No, if anything, the turtles are the most curious. So
A few zebra sharks,
Yeah.
maybe a nurse shark once in a while will be
Yeah.
curious, but the rest tend to stay on the other side. We've got procedures in place, protocols. We're moving out of their glide path. We're not swimming where they are. We're not cornering anybody. We stay out of the way, stay together as a group. So this is their home, and that's how we treat it.
And they don't ever go rogue and just take a bite. Do they ever do that?
no, yeah, they're pretty lazy, actually. Yeah. So, I mean, they're all stationed and target trained, which is we're pretty excited about. So that means that they all have their own station in Shark Canyon that they go to get fed, and they all have their own individual targets too. So they know where to go get their food. Otherwise, they're pretty much just either sitting on the bottom or cruising on the other side. They're really, really lazy. They don't want to go use extra energy.
And so what we're doing is we're taking their diet, we're taking a percentage of their body weight per week, and we're dividing it out to 3 or 4 feedings for that week, and we've taken that hunger drive off of them, so they don't have to pursue food. It's much easier to go through the drive-through, right, than it is to cook your own meal. So that takes that edge off. And
It's like Wall-E for sharks, where they're just like floating by getting
that's
their
a great
food.
joke. Yeah, that's going
that's
to be
what-
us.
Have you seen the movie Wall-E? You
I
got to
have
see
not.
it. It's
You
like
gotta
that. It's
see
like
it.
Wall-E for sharks. But this is all these sharks have known, right? Were they born in captivity or no?
Not all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, aquariums work together a lot too. So we have what's called surplus animals often. So if anything is born and they don't have the room, or they don't feel like they're being cared for the best at that facility, we will reach out to other facilities and we'll do transports and we'll send animals to them who can care for them better. So a lot of it comes from other aquariums. And then anything else would be from special permits and things like that. So
Yeah.
it's a mix. Yeah.
Yeah, noted suppliers under permit. Yep.
Isaac Lippert and Rich Collister from the St. Louis Aquarium are with us here on KMOX. So we're talking about these the fish in the living environment. They've got other animals that are in there with them. So they never try to eat the smaller animals, or does it happen sometimes?
Well, let's just say this, right? In the wild, sharks are population control or they are kind of the collectors. They will prey on sick or injured fish. We don't have many sick or injured fish in Shark Canyon. So,
Yeah, they'd rather restaurant quality seafood, probably.
Ron, you are
So
really
again,
looking for chaos here.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on,
So every once in a while, a fish may disappear.
Okay.
It sounds
And
like
then, is there an investigation when that happens?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It
So how
sounds
do you
like-
conduct a missing fish investigation?
yeah, yes. Oh my
How do you do
gosh.
that?
Count.
Do you count?
Interns do a lot of counting.
Do you interview witnesses?
Yeah.
Do you look at video?
We look at video, and I tell you, the aquarists are so cued into the animals, right? They know if I have 25 cow-nose rays, right? They know them each individually. They know where they are and what they're looking for. They know body types, any indicator of individuals, and they can follow them. So we queue up pretty quick on if something's awry.
You know how like when a dog does something like messes up the kitchen, gets into the trash, and then leaves a mess, and you can tell if you have multiple dogs which the guilty dog is.
Like, did you do
know.
this?
Yeah, they're pointing or at them. Or,
They won't make eye
They
contact.
won't make eye contact. Do the sharks do that?
No, the sharks are too cool. They won't give you any cues.
Yeah.
But the groupers, they'll let you know.
Yeah.
What do you
Really?
mean?
The groupers, their positioning in the tank, they have that aw shucks, or the bathrooms over there, or I'm over here not being good. So the way they move around, they have territories within the.
Really?
So if they've done something wrong, they know that
We see behaviors, and I don't know if it's necessarily wrong. We just look at them and go, "You're up to no good over here." I see you.
Groupers.
Why are you there? Yeah.
What are you doing? And then the investigation begins.
The grouper won't look you in the eye. He's turning his whole body.
Or they
Did you do this?
Flaring his gills at you.
What is it?
What are you doing? The
what's it called?
booming.
Boom.
Yeah.
The boom. Groupers will boom when they don't want you around, or
Sounds like thunder.
they have
Especially
a
underwater.
mood
it's great.
issue or something. The boom.
Yeah.
You'll hear it throughout the aquarium.
What do they do that for?
Yeah.
It's a
Probably-
territorial thing
Yeah.
usually.
Yep.
Wow.
I didn't know fish could be guilty.
And
They can be vocal.
You said you can hear the boom.
You can feel it sometimes.
Yeah.
You can feel it.
hear it.
Through
You
the
feel it.
through the acrylic, you can hear it as a guest sometimes.
Really?
But if you're standing right next to him underwater, you could definitely
You
hear
hear
it
it,
and
yeah.
feel it. It feels like a thunder boom.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Does it scare you? Does it startle you?
Yeah, it definitely startles you. You don't know it's coming, so it's like. But then, you know what it is, so it's okay. It's not thunder. The world isn't ending, but it's.
Not yet.
Is there a species or, one of the many animals that you have in the aquarium that are the most troublesome for one reason or the other? Or tricky, maybe?
Care is challenging in the aquatic environment. That's not our world, that's their world. And it's not complicated, but the investigation and the process through and working the problem to get what you need takes a little bit and takes some in-depth thought. As far as, you always have your challenges, but there's not a lot of problems that we really haven't solved there.
In terms of the tank where you can touch sharks and you can touch stingrays, what exactly is in that tank that people can experience?
So we have 2 different species of stingray in there. So we have a cow nose ray, which is the most popular in there. They call them cow nose, I think, because of their nose
Their
shape.
face is shaped like a cow. Yes.
Very cute. And you can actually feed them too. You can pay to feed the cow nose rays, and they'll come up and suck the food right out of your hand. It's pretty fun, startling to some, but
Yeah.
it's pretty cute. We also have those bamboo sharks that I was talking about earlier. So you can actually touch a shark and feel how their scales feel, which is different than a ray. It's more like sandpaper, less smooth and slimy like you would think. But we also have Atlantic stingrays in there. It's just a normal looking ray. I don't
A little pointy on the
pointy nose. Yeah, they're really cute.
So I have a stingray question.
Sure.
Okay. So, they say that they're perfectly safe to be in the water with, right? But then they killed a guy.
The crocodile hunter.
Yeah, who was jumping in the water after crocs. And how is it a sting? Like, I know they said it's a freak accident, but apparently it does happen. So how does that happen?
Yeah, it's a last-ditch defense mechanism, basically. So they're flat. Most stingrays are on the bottom, sunk underneath the sand or something like that. And so that's their only defense mechanism because they're just little meat pancakes that are tasty to sharks and things like that. So
So
it happens.
So you just not be above them? Is that the?
Yeah. The challenge there was not seeing them, and you come down over them or you come down on them. Yeah, a lot of times you see them shuffling the bottom of the sand, and burying themselves in the sand.
And that's
that they're hiding.
Is that to let you know, hey, I'm here, so leave me alone? Or are they trying to get away from you?
They're trying to hide from all things.
Yeah, so they'll move the sand around so it gets on top of them.
Right.
So before you make touchdown, if you're at the beach or you're scuba, before you make touchdown, make sure you're investigating the subfloor.
Because
first.
I was paddleboarding off the coast of Florida one time, and I saw what I thought was like a giant shadow, like just kind of floating, waving underneath the water. And I'm like spreading my arms wide. It was like that wide, and it was a stingray or some type of ray, I guess. And I didn't feel like that I was going to fall off the paddleboard until I saw the ray. And then I was like, I'm going to fall off the paddleboard. But if I had fallen off, as long as I didn't fall on top of him, would I have been okay?
Yeah, I'm sure you would be fine. They would swim away. That's their first reaction, is swim away.
Because it's intimidating to see an animal that big, like right next to your paddleboard.
Sure is. In the ocean, if you see large shadows, go the other way.
It was really, oh my gosh, it was really scary.
So what you're saying is it was Steve Irwin's fault. It was his own damn fault.
No quotes here. Okay. So.
All right, so at the St. Louis Aquarium,
this is awesome.
You can go see Shark Twain tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a great place to go for kids. Divers inside Shark Canyon every day at around 1:15. So that will happen today as well. StLouisAquarium.com, StLouisAquarium.com for all the information. With us in studio, Rich Collister, Isaac Lippert. Thanks for coming in, guys, and enjoy the rest of Shark Week.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And thanks for the bumper stickers, too.
Yeah, these are
awesome.
awesome.
We bought some merch, and let's give a shout out to all the teams and all the staff there at the aquarium, working hard to give that guest experience and care for these animals, and the O'Laughlin family for making it all possible.
Rich Collister, Isaac Lippert with St. Louis Aquarium with us on KMOX.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Can you believe politicians nearly doubled state spending since 2019? Yeah, that's twice the rate of inflation.
What do we get for all that extra spending? Nothing.
Yeah, and get this, over 200 loopholes are buried in our tax code, written by lobbyists for wealthy corporations.
Our tax code is rigged against us.
We get taxed on our paycheck, our home, everything we buy.
I guess somebody's got to pay for all that spending.
That's why we need Amendment 5. It puts politicians on a leash.
Forces them to cut taxes and control spending, whether they like it or not.
Amendment 5 closes the loopholes, eliminates income taxes, cuts property taxes, and gives $3,000 a year to average working families.
We decide, not the politicians.
Amendment 5 is the biggest tax cut in Missouri history.
I'm voting yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC. Mark Ellinger, Treasurer.
Hey, Stewie's here from Stewart's American Mortgage, and he continues with some amazing offers for potential customers this summer.
You know what, Mark? We talked about the 1% reduction when you're buying a house. You lock it in at 6.5%. You get 5.5%. We're going to extend that to certain kinds of refinances right now as well. If you have an FHA loan and you need to go to conventional because it's usually better, we're going to give you 1% lower for the first year as well. It's a great opportunity. Take advantage now. Cash out. Rate and term refinances from FHA to to conventional, 1% lower for the first year.
A lot of people are just on the sidelines. They're worried about the rate that they locked in originally, and they need cash from their house, though, right?
That's right. It's a great opportunity. Look to see what you're paying on those credit cards. If you need to go ahead and do some improvement to your house, this is a great time to do it. Don't use your credit cards. The APRs are 30%. Stay away from those high interest rate type of programs. Refinance, get one fixed rate. It's not adjustable. 1% lower for the first year.
Call or text Stewie on his cell phone, 314-324-4440, or Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
100 years. One legendary voice. We live KMOX's century of service. Classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
Chris and Amy on KMOX, Gas House Gang at 12. We are going to talk Cardinals. They are in the middle of a series against the Cubs, and it's not going well so far. 2 games left to go in it, though. And Tom Ackerman and me, we will talk it over with you. Until then, it's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. We have a pair of tickets to give away to see Lynyrd Skynyrd and Foreigner. That is coming up August 6th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. And we want to give those tickets away now to caller number 6 to the contest line at 314-955-1120. 314-955-1120. Best of luck to you. And we should also thank Live Nation for giving us those tickets to give away to you.
Yes.
So good luck.
Are you going, Matt, to that concert?
I'm not as of now.
Seems like your type of concert.
It is. I like both of those bands.
I do too.
Yeah, I was going to say something that would make it seem like you shouldn't go, but no, I'm sure it's a great show. No.
Yes.
So apparently our guy almost was murdered by a comedian.
Yeah.
Oh.
Should we say who it is as a little sneak peek?
Yes.
Yeah, little tease.
Yeah, so this Friday we're going to interview TJ Miller in studio. He's a comedian. We've had him on before. Really funny, wild guy. So yesterday, Tina, our coworker, walks into our talent office and hands me a box that's got my name on it. And I never get deliveries. I mean, if I do, it's maybe for a book of an author we're going to interview, but I didn't have anything set up, so I don't know why I was getting a delivery at work, and it's kind of heavy. And Tina's like, it's from some peanut butter or something? I don't know. I'm like, what? So I look at the stamp or the tag on it, and it says
return address.
Yeah, the return address. It says it's from Happy Peanut Butter LLC or whatever it is. I'm like, this is so weird. So I have Ranji open it up for me, like it's like I'm some government official opening up an envelope of anthrax or something. He opens up, and it's just like 3 or 4 jars of TJ Miller's own line of peanut butter. And by the way, I'm very allergic to peanut butter.
He doesn't know that.
No, I know. But I'm going to give him a hard time on Friday about it when we interview him.
Yeah, he sent you a box of death.
Yeah.
You've already had to be saved once at this place. Andrew Stoll has saved your life.
Right. The only time I've had an allergic reaction was right here at work.
Was it? And it was Andrew's fault?
No. Andrew actually came to my rescue.
Yeah.
He injected the EpiPen into my leg because I didn't really know how to do it. He has experience with that sort of thing, so he helped me out.
So
was it scary?
No, I was fine.
TJ, when he came to town a couple of years ago, I think it was 2 years ago.
He's been in twice.
Yeah, he's been in a lot. So I ended up going to the show, and it was at Funny Bone. And so then afterwards, there's the bar around the corner, and he came over when he was done, and we were hanging out. He's like, "Oh, hang on a second," and he gets up and he leaves, and he comes back with like 8 jars of his peanut butter. It's like, "I got all this peanut butter. You want some?" Like, okay.
Was it good?
So yeah, I mean, I took. It's got different flavors. So there's a chocolate cherry peanut butter. There's a coconut and I didn't try this one. Coconut and something, I'm not sure. And then there's a toffee peanut butter.
So he just loves peanut butter.
Yeah,
I guess this is a passion project for him.
It's a thing for him. He's been doing it for a while now. And he's got hot sauce. He should have sent you some hot sauce.
Yeah.
I'd be nervous to try anything now. Like, the secret ingredient in the hot sauce, by the way, is peanut dust.
That's not how that works.
It could be. There's a lot of peanut sauce, like spicy peanut sauce.
Oh, stop it.
We take a peanut and we rub it across a cheese grater and we put that into our hot sauce. That's the secret ingredient.
Peanut dust.
Yeah.
It could be.
For a little kick.
Well, thank God Matt Pajeski is still with us.
Yeah.
He's still kicking.
Who would push the buttons?
Nobody.
Yeah. We'll have Tom come in here and do it. Anyway, TJ Miller will be with us in studio on Friday.
Yeah.
So looking forward to having him in. It is the Chris and Amy Show, Gas House Gang at 12. As I mentioned, got a lot of Cardinals talk coming your way. They are under 500 for the first time all year. Also, when we come back, we had a conversation with Governor Mike Kehoe about Amendments 5, Amendment 4, both on the ballot coming up next week. And we talked to him about those. We have some reaction to what he had to say about Amendments 5 and 4 and Panera leaving town as well. That is next on KMOX.
Well, I was talking about, having that bird in my fireplace that needed to be saved. And if you have a pest that is really kind of messing up your time at home or outside in your yard, what you need to do is visit Rottler.com. Rottler.com, give them a call. When you do, you'll have a real human answer the phone, which is great. And they can provide same day or next day service. They will send technicians out to your home, no matter what your problem is. And the inspection, that initial inspection, is free. So maybe you're dealing with ants in the kitchen or in the bathroom. Those are very, very pesky. Or you have a stinging insect problem, especially now in the summer. That's when you're going to see things like wasps and carpenter bees that can actually not just sting you, but damage wooden structures like fences and siding because they can bore holes into those things. Or maybe you have moles tearing up your yards. It's the absolute worst because you've spent all that time and money making your lawn nice, and the mole tunnels really ruin everything. You need to visit Rottler. If you have mosquitoes, again, call Rottler, especially before you have your next outdoor party. Visit them today at Rottler.com.
When Cardinals fans want to talk baseball, they turn to the Gas House Gang. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring insights, analysis, and opinions that fuel the conversation. And every Tuesday, Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol pulls back the curtain on his decisions and his team's performance. The Gas House Gang is the sports show sports fans can't miss. Hear it weekdays at noon on your home for the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
82 degrees and gorgeous out there. Sunny and a high today of just 89. Tonight, clear with a low of 65.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
I'm Bill Eigel. I'm a no on data centers. Last year, when a new hyperscale data center was up for a vote in St. Charles City, I'm the only candidate for county executive who stood with you in opposition. Meanwhile, Steve Ellman was writing op-eds in support of data centers. In fact, he spent $400,000 of your taxpayer money to identify 6 locations just for data centers in St. Charles County. I'm Bill Eigel, and if you don't want data centers in our county, then I'm asking for your vote on August 4th.
Paid for by Eigel from Missouri. Lisa Borchers, Treasurer.
Summer is officially here, and that means the family internet, it is working overtime. All our lives are always online, and that's why I rely on i3 Broadband. Traditional cable just can't keep up, but i3 delivers 100% true fiber directly into my home for ultra-smooth, reliable performance. Plus, they're a local provider that actually treats you like a neighbor. Skip the fake fiber. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job.
Let's Go Brandon PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Chris Foss, Treasurer.
Your health story is shaped by more than genetics. Everyday choices like nutrition, physical activity, sleep, tobacco use, and routine screenings all play a role in your future health. Siteman Cancer Center's Your Disease Risk helps you understand how family history and lifestyle work together, offering personalized insights to support healthier decisions. Knowing your risks today can help protect your tomorrow. Visit siteman.washu.edu/YDR.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Today, the Cards, the Cubs.
Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 645.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Chris and Amy show on KMOX. And congratulations, first of all, to Mark from Ferguson, who won tickets to see Foreigner and Lynyrd Skynyrd on August 6th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. If you missed out on your opportunity, hey, you don't have to worry, because you have a chance tomorrow and then a chance on Friday as well to win those tickets. You got to be listening for your opportunity to win. So in the 9 o'clock hour, we talked to Governor Mike Kehoe from Missouri about the amendments that are being proposed. They are on the ballot next week on August 4th, Amendment 5, which is the income tax, the state income tax elimination, which would phase out the Missouri income tax over a period of time. We talked about that. We talked about Amendment 4 as well. And of course, we centered, we did focus a lot on Amendment 5 because it doesn't, from what I can gather, there's quite a bit of bipartisan opposition to this. It's not just a, one side of the aisle kind of confusion or questions about what that bill is actually going to do if it goes through and how it's going to affect the state down the road. Again, there's a lot of skepticism about it, and it seems to reach both sides of the aisle. We asked the governor why he thinks it is a good idea because he is in opposition to it.
We
Or he's
know that other.
Let me take that back. He's not in opposition. He is a proponent of this.
We know that other states who do not have an income tax, their economies are much greater, their populations are growing, and things in those states are just providing more opportunities for their citizens. I'd love to be able to offer those same opportunities for Missourians. So the proposal went through the House and Senate in a transparent way with hearings and public comment, et cetera, and appropriately it goes before the ballots. This would be, with the voters, this would be likely the most major shift in policy the state has seen, some people say in 50 years plus, because it definitely does a very different method of determining revenue for our state, and it puts the buying power of those dollars into the pockets of Missourians. I think that's a good thing. Other states have shown us it's worked very well.
So, I asked Governor Kehoe about some of those other states that don't have income tax, like Nevada, like Florida. I mean, Florida has $135 billion from out-of-town visitors, spending that much money in Florida every year. $135 billion. Missouri has 12.5 because Florida has, as the governor said, three borders of ocean. Like they're surrounded by ocean. They've got the beaches. They've got Disney World. He said a better comp would be Tennessee. And I still feel like my issue with Tennessee being a good comp, because Tennessee actually has triple the out-of-town spending, the visitors' dollars, the tourism dollars than Missouri, somewhere around $36 billion. But the reason why I have an issue with that is, one, they have the most visited national park in the Great Smoky Mountain Park. So the most visited national park. And they also have Nashville, which is a booming, growing, exploding city.
We look at the data that comes out of Tennessee, another Midwest state that we think has the same values, close in positioning to us, actually borders us on our southeast corner. And you've seen what's happened there. I mean, Nashville and Memphis were not Nashville and Memphis the way we see them today, 25 and 30 years ago. That state is growing in population. People are leaving these other states that have high regulations, high tax burdens, et cetera, not good work environments, and they're coming to Midwest states. And Tennessee has proven that has drawn many people there. I think Missouri can do the same thing.
Quick note on Tennessee, too, because I believe Tennessee fully eliminated income tax in 2021, more recently.
And Nashville was exploding way before that.
And Nashville was exploding way before that. And actually, that's why I also say with a city-county merger, people bring up Nashville, and I don't think that is a good comparison. Why? Because in Tennessee, around Nashville, they had a city-county merger because Nashville was exploding so quickly and was growing so much that they did not have the infrastructure or the capabilities to accommodate a growing population. The city of St. Louis is not exploding. St. Louis County isn't exploding. And we're, if anything, the city is hemorrhaging businesses and people right now. And so I just don't see Tennessee as a good comp. I don't think you can turn a blind eye to the most visited national park either. And so that's why, I get it, but I almost feel like a better comp would be Kansas, where eliminating the income tax failed. However, I do understand that Kansas eliminated it in one fell swoop, and this would be a multi-year, much slower phase out. Again, Ron, I feel like there are arguments on both sides. I just feel like Amendment 5 is not developed fully. It feels too open-ended, and I feel like I can't get any solid answers of like, well, this is how we will. Here are the numbers. Projections show that we will be able to overcome that state funding gap that's created by eliminating the income tax. I kind of want to see like hard numbers, and this is how we're going to do it. And it's not that I'm totally against the idea. It's just that it feels a little open-ended to me, or I'm not quite seeing a clear picture.
Well, the estimation is something like $9 billion, around there, just over $9 billion, that state would have to find a way to make up. And that's a significant amount. So how would they do it? You would have to raise taxes significantly, unless you're just going to say, well, we're going to take in less tax money overall. Well, then the state's going to be in trouble in that case. And I don't think that's something you want to do. Meanwhile, as far as Tennessee goes, they are increasing in population, and they have been for several years, but it's also slowing a bit because there was a thought for the last several years that they would grow to a 10th congressional seat. But based on the last census, that's probably not going to happen because it's not growing as rapidly as it once was. So there's a bit of a growth slowing that is happening there. We did also talk to the governor about Panera Bread, who we heard yesterday, according to reporting, they are leaving. They are moving their headquarters from Fenton, and they are going out to the Boston area, just outside of Boston. So that's in Massachusetts, and it is, there are a lot of taxes in Massachusetts. There is plenty of regulation in Massachusetts, and here's what he had to say about Panera's move.
Yeah, well, remember, we don't have our income tax phased out yet, so we still have it right now. So the tool that they're looking at that we want to get is not on the table yet because it hasn't been passed by the voters. And, tax and regulation, there's multiple pieces to economic development success. It's not the magic wand. It's not the cure-all, the do-all. You have to have a whole host of things in your basket to grow your economy. A great workforce, which Missouri has. We're in the greatest location you can be in the United States for shipping, logistics, manufacturers, products coming in, products coming out. We have a host of things that are really in our favor. We're working very hard on the regulatory environment. We've made some great strides in that since I've been in office. We think the tax policy piece is another major piece of the puzzle that you could go to a company like Panera or somebody who's looking at moving and saying, look, your employees can be here and not have income tax. We're not able to tell them that right now, but should this pass, we would love to be able to use that tool to work with companies.
See, I understand what he's saying, and he's not wrong. However, it doesn't prove that they left the state of Missouri or are leaving Missouri because income tax is still a thing here. But what it does prove is Massachusetts is not a deterrent. So income tax clearly is not a deterrent, or regulations or anything like that is not a deterrent for Panera moving to a state with more of all of that.
Well,
so it doesn't really, he's not wrong in what he's saying, but I think he's missing what the point is.
Or you could argue that he's not missing the point. He's saying, yes, we've lost a company to Massachusetts, to outside Boston, which I think the guy, whoever the private equity, whatever it is, maybe they have ties to the Boston area. At any rate, he's saying if you want Missouri to be competitive at all, because we don't have Boston, we're not the East Coast, we're not Massachusetts. If you want Missouri to be competitive at all, we've got to have something to throw at the companies and say, hey, I get it, we're not the East Coast, but we're not Boston, we're not, but what about the fact that we don't have a state income tax? This is something that I know could affect your business, can affect employees, and it's a great carrot to have when you're not the sexiest state anyway.
But he's also arguing that it is a deterrent for people coming here and establishing roots, which just isn't true. And I don't think research across the board even suggests that people are choosing not to go to certain places in great numbers because they have taxes or a higher tax burden, places like New York. That's not really,
maybe
it doesn't really
help.
happening.
I think there's a difference between it being the main deterrent and companies saying, well, if we're going to weigh things, what does Missouri have? And you don't, okay.
What I'm saying is I
traffic.
think it's very far down the list. I don't think it's what he thinks it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see, though, how it would be a good thing to tell businesses. I've talked to athletes who've said you'd be surprised at how big of a deal it is for athletes. And I know that's not the same thing. It's just that I don't think it's negligible.
But here's the thing about athletes. They might say they think about it, and of course they do, but they are going where they're getting paid the most. They're not going based on who is taxing them the most. The Dodgers, for example, they've got the highest payroll in the game, and they have the biggest stars in the game. And how do they do that? They are able to pay them a bunch of money. It's really about the income. It's not about the taxes.
But what if you're not going after the highest paid or the biggest and best. You're competing against other moderate markets.
Yeah, it doesn't.
At least with businesses,
really
I'm just saying it's not going
way.
to hurt. I can see how they want to use it as another carrot for Missouri.
Yeah, I just, it's not having the effect. I think we're going to get into a place where if there's less tax revenue that comes in, that will ultimately create an environment in the state that is less attractive. If we have less revenue, we can do less things. We can not do everything we want to on infrastructure, for example. So you're not creating a more attractive state for people to come to.
Yeah, that's why I don't know, because I am concerned. I'm concerned that we're not going to be able to fill that revenue gap because I feel like it hasn't really been laid out clearly exactly how it will work other than, well,
trust us.
It could.
The vote is next week. It is on Tuesday. That is Amendment 5 that we are talking about. But if you want to hear the entire interview with Governor Kehoe, you will be able to do that on the Odyssey app or KMOX.com or wherever you get your podcasts when the show is over today.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler. If you're looking for a little kick in the pants when it comes to dropping a little weight, getting better shape, getting more into the gym, think about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at Supplement Superstores. I've been using it since it came out. It's fantastic. You notice right away the difference. Look, we all have busy schedules. I do, and you do. You know, we all have problems sometimes with controlling our eating patterns and staying on a plan. Well, Burn Balance Complex makes that so much easier. It's not magic, but it definitely helps make it easier. It is a complete metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. So what you're talking about is a natural weight loss option. So if you're a person that doesn't want to go get a prescription, you're not into injections, this is a great choice for you. In addition to the metabolism boost, you get to lower stress and cortisol levels, get better sleep. It can help control appetite and cravings, all-day focused energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. If you want the help, and look, we all need it, I know I do, go to Supplement Superstores, tell them your story, mention Kevin Wheeler, and they'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex. You can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going a swing.
Ready to elevate your game? Join the MBA Sportscasters Forum on Tuesday, September 15th in St. Louis. Learn from Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and Hall of Famer John Rooney as they break down play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and covering the game. Then cap off the day with the Cardinals versus Giants at Busch Stadium. Step into the booth. Sharpen your skills. Go to KMOX.com/events for details and registration.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about award-winning chefs. Yes, chef. And why they choose Duke's Mayo. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Hey, it's Brew. Between my radio show, filming content, editing videos, and trying to stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. And that's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years, guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Just a reminder that when we do give away tickets, like we're giving away Foreigner and Lynyrd Skynyrd tickets, we did today. We're doing it tomorrow and Friday. You have to have a valid email address.
Are you implying?
I'm implying that our last winner may not have had an email.
How do you
we need to have a conversation. The oldest of people have email addresses.
How do you not have an email?
Everybody has
My
an email.
My grandpa, like 20 years ago when he was 80, had an email, and he was not tech savvy.
Everybody has an email address.
I'm trying to think, what are we missing? Why? I mean, you have a phone.
Yes.
Maybe he's calling on a landline, and he's listening on an old transistor radio.
Look, if you are so old that you don't have an email address, then you're too old for Foreigner and Lynyrd Skynyrd. You're too old even for that.
We don't know that it's age. I'm just trying to think of.
It's got to be.
It would be.
What else could it possibly be?
But it is difficult to function without an email in today's world, just because they force everyone to do things through email in the same way that I said when I don't have this job anymore. Could be tomorrow. Who knows? But when I don't have this job anymore, I was going to get a flip phone because I'm so tired. I'm resentful of the smartphones. But you can't, or at least it would be a huge pain because everything from, boarding passes to tickets to events to parking, a lot of the stuff is on your smartphone. Could I really, really put an effort into living life without it? Yes. Do I have the bandwidth to do that? No.
Well, you are in luck if you want to, because there's a company called Light.
Okay.
And they unveiled about a week ago, I think it was about a week ago, a new flip phone it's got no social media, no internet, no email, and it only costs $300.
But you can...
And it's kind of a cool looking phone, to be honest.
Can you get your boarding pass on it?
You cannot, I don't think. It is
Aren't the Cardinals ticketless? I guess maybe they have some tickets.
Can't, if you insist, they can help people who do not.
But sir, I insist.
So they will help you out.
Okay.
But you have to go through special channels to get that done. So I could get
what was it called? Not the Cricket. What's the old people phone? Is it the Cricket?
Yeah.
Because there's Cricket Wireless now, which is very confusing.
There's a Ladybug phone.
Not the Ladybug, the Jolly...
Jitterbug.
Yes, the Jitterbug. That's the phone I want.
The
and the buttons are big, and all you can do is call your family and 911.
Yeah. So if you want to go back to pre-smartphone days, you can. The phone, the Light phone that I was talking about, that's $299. It's got phone, alarm, music. You can have music on your phone, podcasts, a calendar, directions, and notes. And that is it.
The company is called Light?
Yes, the phone is called Light. It's called the Light phone.
The Light phone. And this just came out?
I don't know if it's out yet, but it is coming out. And you can buy it. You can reserve it now if you want. So maybe that's what you want. It's got all kinds of cool colors. It's a neat-looking phone.
It says it will make you a better, happier person.
Well, then you should give it a try.
I should definitely try this.
So we'll have Foreigner, Lynyrd Skynyrd tickets tomorrow to give away, and on Friday. We appreciate you listening. Again, the conversation with Governor Kehoe about Amendment 5 and 4 and Panera leaving the state. We talked to him about all of it. KMOX.com. Odyssey app, or wherever you get your podcasts, all there for you. Like every Chris and Amy show is, and all the segments, all there for you. We appreciate you listening. Thanks for being with us today. Back tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll have Major Garrett back.
Yes,
he was
finally.
on vacation last week, so we'll have Major Garrett tomorrow on the Chris and Amy show at 9. That's when it starts. Coming up next, though, it is the Gas House Gang on KMOX.